Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for the Tech Guy is provided by Cachefly. CACHEFLY.com. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Radio Networks on Saturday, January 12th, 2013. This is episode 943. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Stamps.com. Use Stamps.com to buy and print real U.S. postage the instant you need it, right from your desk. For our special offer, visit Stamps.com, click the microphone, and enter Tech Guy. And by Lantronix, maker of the XPrint server. Print from your iPad, iPhone, or any iOS device to virtually any printer. For more information, visit xprintserver.com/twit and enter the code TWIT to get free shipping on your order. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Wait a minute, let me turn the lights on in the Tech Guy Labs. Can't do this show in the dark. There we go. That's much better. This is a show about tech. Yeah, you don't want to do it in the dark. This is a show about tech. I guess it doesn't matter in the radio, does it? This is a show about technology. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. If you have a question, a comment, a suggestion, if you want to talk high tech, this is the place to do it. Anything having to do with computers, the internet, cell phones, MP3 players, home theater. Coming up in just a little bit, our home theater guy, Scott Wilkinson, with his report from the Consumer Electronics Show. That'll be at 33 1/3 after the hour. Next hour, travel guy, Johnny Jett, will talk about travel stuff from the Consumer Electronics. It's just all about the Consumer Electronics Show, I guess. Actually, it's not. And I want to start with something that's a sad story, but I think an important story. A young man named Aaron Swartz took his life yesterday. And he's not a name that's probably well-known, except in the tech community, where he is very, very well-known. He was 26, but first became well-known when he was 14 and started going to tech conferences. At the age of 14, already, he was highly respected. In fact, he co-wrote the specification for RSS, which is what's used for podcasts, so very important to me, but also for syndicating feeds. He was one of the folks who wrote the software for Reddit, which has really changed the world in many ways. And he made some money off of that. And then he became a political activist. He did some very interesting things. One of the things he did, for instance, with his money, when he was, this was about 5 years ago, there was a system, there is a system called Pacer that you can use to get access to case law. Now, the case law that is public domain, it's judgments, court cases, things that anybody who is interested in the legal system of the United States would have an interest in, and certainly any trial lawyer would like to. Pacer charges a lot for access to this, even though it's public domain information. Activists built something called Recap, a system similar to Pace Law, but that was free and open, and asked users when they bought case law information to put it into Recap so that eventually we could transfer what is rightfully ours to an open, free system. Aaron Swartz used his money to buy a huge amount of information from case law and putting it back into the public domain. The FBI investigated him for this, even though everything he did was completely legal. He founded a group called Demand Progress, which got very involved, you may remember, in SOPA and PIPA, the fight to preserve a free and open internet last year. He got in a lot of trouble recently, and I have to think it had something to do with his depression. He did suffer from depression, but must have had a considerable amount to do because he decided to do something similar with academic journals that he'd done with the case law. You see, academic journals, which publish information from studies that we, the people, pay for, are stored on a system called JSTOR, a journal publisher, among others. People can, just like this Pacer system, for a fee, look up this information, but it is not made publicly available, even though we paid for it, even though it's taxpayer-funded studies. So he snuck into MIT and put a laptop in a utility closet and downloaded these journal articles, many of them in the public domain, snuck back in, got the laptop, and then made those academic studies public. He, of course, immediately was prosecuted by both MIT and JSTOR. The feds, who were still a little angry at him over this Pacer thing, came down hard. JSTOR realized that it wasn't good PR for them to prosecute this guy who was just trying to free something we already owned, and dropped their prosecution. MIT was a little less clear about this, and the feds continued to prosecute him. And Aaron Swartz believed, I think he probably was correct, that he faced jail time. And friends of Aaron, like Cory Doctorow, who writes on Boing Boing, believed that that was a big part of what made Aaron so desperate, so sad, and ultimately a part of the reason, not the only reason, but probably a part of the reason why he took his own life. Larry Lessig, who is an attorney at Harvard and one of our great constitutional scholars and the creator of Creative Commons, worked with Swartz on Creative Commons. Swartz wasn't a lawyer, but Aaron Swartz knew enough law that he helped this great constitutional lawyer create a license system that many of us, myself included, use to put our content, our works, into the commons without making them public domain. Larry really felt that Aaron was being labeled a felon inappropriately. He was facing $1 million trial this spring in April. His money was gone. And I think that it's probably clear, although we don't know for sure, that that was a big contributor to losing one of the most important people in technology. Sad to say, a name that isn't well known except in technology circles, although you will see many a blog today eulogize Aaron Swartz. You know, they said, the Fed said he stole millions of dollars of data, but of course he didn't want to make it, he didn't want to make any money on it. He was going to make it public domain. In fact, JSTOR, the company that was storing this, announced that they were going to make it public just last week. Nevertheless, the federal prosecution continued. So you'll read a lot more about this, but I just thought I'd pass this along and give my deepest condolences to his family. He was 26, a very young man, and his many, many friends in the tech community. And what a loss to all of us. He was somebody who was changing the world in a very positive way. All right. I don't like to begin with something so sad, but I do think it was important to talk about this, and I hope that if you're interested, if you go to techmeme.com, you'll see that all the top stories this weekend in the tech world are about Aaron Swartz. There are other stories, like the Department of Homeland Security telling us all to stop using Java. How do you like that? Because it's so insecure. There have been bugs and more bugs about Java. Finally, Oracle, which owns the Java code, has said, yeah, we'll fix this. This was after the U.S. Department of Homeland Security said computer users should disable Java in your web browser because of widespread hacking. By the way, let me tell you how you do that. Doesn't matter what browser you use, Safari, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome. If you go to the settings of your browser, in Safari on the Macintoshes in the security settings, just uncheck the box that says Enable Java. Just disable Java. It's in your browser is sufficient, by the way. I know a lot of you play Minecraft. That's a Java game, and perhaps you you say, well, can I play? No, Minecraft's fine because you've downloaded all the code. It's what happens when you browse to a site that has exploits on it, hidden exploits, and Java runs. So disable Java in your browser until there's a fix. In fact, just disable it forever. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Your Minecraft will work, Dunks. Just disable it in your browser. You can still run Minecraft standalone. Let's see here in Chrome. I made a resolution this new year to be more productive, to work smarter, and spend less time at the office. That seems like a contradiction, doesn't it? Nope. I use GoToMeeting from Citrix, the fast and simple way to meet with clients and coworkers online, wherever I need to, whenever I need to. That's JavaScript. I can even present from my iPad. I could join a meeting from my iPad. GoToMeeting, I'm telling you, the thing maybe Chrome doesn't even have this. And I want you to try it. It lets you share the same screen so you can collaborate on documents. I guess Chrome, I don't know. And that Chrome's plus, oh, that's annoying. You have to do that. CHROME://plugins.
Will you please try GoToMeeting?
And then you can disable. So Java is a plugin.
Right now I've got it free for 30 days for you. Plenty of time to get an idea of what.
I don't even have it installed on here.
All you have to do
is
visit
Look at that. Nothing.
Click the Try It Free button and use the promo code Leo. That's GoToMeeting.com. Try It Free button. Leo. Here's a great resolution for this new year. Maximize every minute.
Yeah, and Chrome and actually Safari does this too. Now we'll say, are you sure you want to run Java?
And I know an easy way to do it. Stamps.com.
Yeah, the updated Java, however, does not fix this hole.
Money you've wasted.
So there you go. I see a Apple update. Let me see if that's about Java. No, it's HP printer update. Who cares? Maybe, you know, sometimes Apple updates this stuff without telling you. Ah, that's right. That's right. Chrome is 32-bit. That's right. That's right. Oh, boy, the whole tech world is really rocked by this morning. He's facing, according to Declan McCullough from CNET, he says he was facing life in prison. I don't think that was the case, but that would have been a horrible miscarriage of justice. The problem is the Justice Department treats this all as terrorism. These are already published academic articles. None of this was confidential. He released no data. He was using Harvard's own JSTOR subscription, which he had the right to use. It was the bulk download that got him in trouble. Demand Progress, his group, compared it to trying to put someone in jail for checking too many books out of the library. JSTOR dropped it. And now JSTOR is making 4.5 million articles public at no cost. 13 felony counts, $4 million in fines, possible life in prison. Ugh. Very sad. Well, it's you know, this is the thing: is technology scares people, and so they treat it. You know, when people are scared of something, like witches. He was. I don't. No one knows if he was getting treated for depression, but his friend said that he was. You know, he sounds like might have been bipolar. Oh, you can tell that Kyle Benham's back, our musical director. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. What is that? That's not the Benny Hill theme. What is that?
The Java song.
The Java song. Ah, very good. Very nice. That goes back a way. If in many browsers, Chrome and Safari particularly, before you can run Java in the browser, it will say, "Are you sure? Do you want to allow this?" So make sure, even if you don't disable Java in your browser, and again, it's only in your browser that there's a real threat here, but if you don't disable Java in your browser, that you at least pay attention when it asks you, "Do you want to do this?" and say no, unless you really know where you are. Java, yeah, good point. JC Calhoun in the chat room says, Leo, you probably should tell people that Java and JavaScript are not the same. They're not. They're very different despite the similarity of names. JavaScript was originally called ActionScript and was actually, what did Netscape call it? It had another name. And they decided to name it JavaScript because Java was really popular. And they thought, well, but they're not related in any way. In any way. So problems with Java do not affect JavaScript and vice versa. JavaScript is, I should point out, a notoriously risky thing. Almost all websites, including my own, use it. It's a way for us to execute code on your computer from a website. And flaws in JavaScript mean that there are frequent exploits, attacks via JavaScript. But this is not the same. Java is a little more dangerous right now. The best thing I suppose you could do would be to run something like NoScript, which is a plugin for Firefox. There's similar plugins for other browsers that blocks scripting unless explicitly allowed. Scripting is kind of inherently dangerous. To the phones we go. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. Rob is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Hey, Rob. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. I've got a question about a website hosting provider.
Sure.
Of course, I'm having a problem with the provider that, let's say, has the notorious racy commercials.
Yes, I don't like those either.
Yeah, well, my websites have been down for 3 days now.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Deny, and it was, of course, on my end. And after 7 phone calls, they finally admitted that, yes, they're having a problem.
Oh.
Well, I can't be down for 3 days. That's not acceptable.
No kidding.
So I would
I have to say GoDaddy's not the best. We talked about this last week. Is not really a great host. They're fine. What they really are initially is a domain registrar, which means when you want to name a .com name or .net or whatever, you go there, you pay them $10 a year, and they contract with ICANN, which is responsible for these domain names, to assign them. They're a domain registrar, and there are a lot of these. I don't patronize them because I find their ads patronizing. So I don't use them anyway. Used to, though. Moved everything off of them. One of the things they do when you sign up for a domain is then they upsell you. There's about 100 clicks before you can buy that. Well, that's an exaggeration. Quite a few clicks, though, before you could buy anything from GoDaddy because they try to sell you, among other things, domain web hosting, which is what you're using. And I think a lot of people get sucked into it because, well, you're there already. Why not? But as you can see, it's not very good hosting. Tell me a little bit about your site. What is it?
Well, I've got a variety of sites. I've got one that I do web design on, and then I've got another that it's a PHP BB board.
Okay.
For,
so you're not; these aren't heavy traffic sites, probably.
No, they're not heavy traffic at all.
So you're probably going to use something called shared hosting. There's a couple of different kinds of hosting. Shared hosting means there's one server with many sites on it. How many depends on the company that's doing the serving and how much money they want to make and how cheap it is. GoDaddy's hosting is actually not that cheap, but it is shared hosting. You're on a server with many hundreds of other websites. If you spend more, for instance, our site, thetechguylabs.com, is on a dedicated server. That means we're the only people on that computer. In fact, we have many servers. I don't know, 10, 15, 20 servers, something like that, to host the podcast site, twit.tv, and the radio show site, techguylabs.com. So those dedicated servers, if there's a problem, it's ours. The problem with a shared hosting is that if somebody else on your shared server gets very busy or gets hacked, this is more importantly, gets hacked, that server can go down. I think that's what's happened, because GoDaddy isn't down in general, but your site is. So it's probably the box you're on is having problems, and GoDaddy hasn't. That's a long time. They haven't fixed it, huh?
No.
Now, you don't want to spend the money for a dedicated server. I spend thousands of dollars a month for dedicated servers. That's expensive. But there are other host sites that do shared serving that are more reliable. HostGator, people like a lot. Dream. What is it? Dream? No, I can't remember the name. DreamHost. Thank you. DreamHost is very popular with some people. Maybe the chat room can recommend some other hosting sites they like. Those are two that I know pretty well. 1&1. Some people like 1&1. You know, most... Go ahead.
My number one requirement is customer service. I don't want to be lied to and told that it's a problem.
No
on my
kidding.
end when it's really on their end.
No kidding. So you get better customer service when you pay more, if you think about it. Now, what you're paying enough not to get lied to. Let me make that clear. You should pay. If you pay 5 cents, you should not be lied to. Lied to is not okay. HostGator has very good support according to the chat room. I don't use them. We use SoftLayer, and I am very happy with SoftLayer, but they tend to be a little bit more expensive. But that's what we use, and they're an excellent hosting company. I think I would take a look at HostGator. I've never heard anybody complain about HostGator.
Okay.
Good support, good service, not expensive, shared hosting. You know, one of the things, because you're running a forum, you need to be able to access, you need to be able to install software, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you need a little bit of higher level of capability. And I have to point out that it could be, you know, it's not okay for them to lie to you, but it's not necessarily their fault that the server's down. If you're running a bulletin board, for instance, these programs are notoriously buggy and exploitable. In fact, that's probably the most common way that bad guys get software on servers. And they want to get software on servers because then everybody who visits your site gets infected, which is great. So that's the best way for them to maximize their efforts, is to hack into a website and hack it in such a way that people who visit the website get bugged. That's mostly how this Java thing is spread. So it could well be that you got hacked. It could well be there's something else going on. I think it's not. I think GoDaddy probably knows. Why they're not telling you, I don't know. They should. So we've got lots of suggestions from the chat room. Here's what we're going to do. We'll capture those all. James DeRuvo is writing everything down as we speak. We'll capture those all, and he will put them up on our website, techguylabs.com. So, James, if you would do that. We've got about a dozen so far. Computer Medic says GoDaddy servers are always down. Happened 3 times in 1 month to me. Yeah, I don't recommend GoDaddy. Neither do I. They're fine as a registrar, but I wouldn't recommend their hosting. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. SmallOrange.com. I like the name. Look at all these. We're getting a goodly set of recommendations here. I see it. I have the beautiful scale right here. Yeah, my Stamps.com box. Look at that. I got to tell you about Stamps.com because I am a big fan. This is a pro tip for anybody who does a lot of mailing. This isn't for your Christmas card list, your birthday invitations. We're talking somebody who maybe sells stuff on Amazon or eBay or Etsy, a business that sends out a lot of mailings, invoices, bills, that kind of thing. Stamps.com. So if you're a business, you probably have had for years a postage meter. Oh, that is so 19th century. Stamps.com eliminates the postage meter. Stamps.com means you print official legal postage for anything, any size package or letter, from your computer and your printer. You don't need a postage meter. You don't need special ink. You don't need anything but Stamps.com. So it's really a great way to get mailing done. And it does some smart stuff. For instance, I showed you the scale. You get this, by the way, with our trial offer. I'll tell you about that in a second. One of the things Stamps.com will do is you plug this scale in. It's USB. You plop the letter on there, and it prints out exactly the postage for that weight or package, up to 5 pounds on this one. They have a bigger scale for 25 pounds or more. This is a pretty one, though, and it's free, so I'll tell you how you can get it in a second. It also, because it's computerized, it takes the data. If you are, say, let's say you're sending out bills, it'll take the data from QuickBooks or your address book, so you don't have to type in addresses. It prints right on the envelope with your return address, the recipient's address, your logo, and the stamp, all in one fell swoop. For packages, it prints out the mailing label. It will automatically send an email if it's express mail or priority mail to the recipient saying, here's your tracking number. I mean, it's everything. It's the pro tool for mailing. Now, if you go to Stamps.com, you'll see an $80 bonus offer, which is a very good deal, I must say. But I could do better. If you said, you see up in the right, it says, heard about us on a radio or a podcast, click here. Click that. There's a kind of old-fashioned microphone there. And enter TECH space GUY. 2 words, Tech Guy. And that $80 value, now a $110 bonus offer, including that beautiful stainless steel USB scale. $55 in postage coupons you can use over the next few months. $5 supply kit, and a 4-week trial. You only pay shipping and handling for the scale, less than $5. So this is a great deal. I want you to try it right now. Go to Stamps.com. Click that microphone in the upper right-hand corner and use the promo code TechGuy. We use Stamps.com here, and I could tell you it's just, the idea of a postage meter, and you got to bring it in and get it charged. Actually, I see people bringing postage meters to the post office, waiting in line. And I have to resist the urge to pull them aside and say, hey, Stamps.com, do yourself a favor. Stamps.com. Yeah, I think I should mention this CBS thing, too. I'm going to mention this. This is terrible. Terrible. And then we'll talk a little bit about CES, which we haven't done yet. But first, it's Scott Wilkinson. Are you getting him or shall I? Well, I can get him. All right. Dedicated dedicated servers don't have to be expensive. Generally, the other issue about dedicated is that unless you pay for a managed system, you're responsible for it. And some people aren't qualified to do that. I know I'm not, and I was doing it for the first 5 years of Twit. Oh, no. What are you saying whoops for?
Hey, I just realized I didn't have the right camera selected here. Hang on.
Whoops.
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 Shouldn't be difficult to fix.
So how are you feeling? Did you get sick?
I did. Yeah.
I hear it. I hear the CES crud.
The CES crud is definitely infected my lungs, I'm sad to say.
You know what I did? First of all, I was only there 2 days.
Yeah, lucky you.
Lucky me. I hate CES. I'm never going again. Well, I have to, but I don't want to ever go again. And I'll let you speak for yourself, but I have to say I am underwhelmed by the only reason anybody would go at this point is to look at televisions.
I suppose that's true. Or cell phones, I guess, mobile devices.
No. There was only one cell phone. Sony announced a cell phone. Nobody does cell phones there anymore because of IFA and Mobile World Congress.
I suppose, yeah.
Microsoft took all of its stuff away, so all the Windows stuff is announced elsewhere.
Yeah, Intel was there, of course.
Yeah, but Intel doesn't make any consumer end products. So all Intel does is repeat stuff that's already on their website.
Yeah.
I can't see any reason to go there. And there was so much junk. Oy. But anyway.
Well, if as you say, and an argument certainly can be made, that the only real reason to go is for TVs, then, I was having a great time.
Well, it's a good reason to go because unlike everything else, you can read about all the news on the web. I mean, there's nothing that you could see at CES that you can't read about on the web, except if you want to see the TVs.
Exactly right.
And boy, those OLEDs were unbelievable.
Yep.
Gorgeous.
They were.
And they have Ultra HD OLEDs.
Yes.
Combining the best of both worlds.
Sony. Panasonic and Sony both showed Ultra HD OLEDs. Amazing.
I was surprised to see the Sony use the OLED word. Because didn't they deny that they had OLEDs?
The last time they talked about it, it was called Crystal LED.
But I think it was OLEDs, wasn't it?
Well,
We don't know.
I thought so at first, and I have since learned that it might not have been. It might have been super tiny actual
Right.
LEDs.
Right.
Sort of like the Jumbotron.
Did they show any of those this year?
No.
Yeah.
Not that I saw.
For crying out loud.
No, they showed a real OLED
Yeah.
at 56 inches, Ultra HD. You know, obviously, I don't know. Did you get around the show much? I mean, you were in the Ford booth most of the day.
No,
you
no,
did?
I only did 3 things at the Ford booth, and then I wandered.
In the central hall,
Yeah, and I of
assume.
course went and looked at all the TVs.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Those
Gorgeous.
110-inch UHD TVs, man.
I don't. But how you get it in the room? You can't.
Well, that is a
You
question.
have to take
I wondered
the
how
roof
they
off.
did it. Westinghouse had one in a hotel suite over at the LVH.
Well,
And how'd they get it into that
they
room?
probably
I
had
don't
double
know.
doors or something.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
All right, here we go. Well, obviously, this is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I was terrified. I went to CES Sunday night. I left Wednesday morning, so I didn't stay at the Consumer Electronics Show any longer than I absolutely had to. 150,000 geeks there. I also went to New Media Expo, spoke there, gave the podcast awards, had a great time. But I was terrified because the flu was running rampant. And I thought, and I hadn't gotten my flu shot, which I have now, but I hadn't got before I left. I thought, so I just basically bathed my body in Purell every 10 minutes. And I didn't get sick, but Scott Wilkinson was in Vegas. He was there a little longer, and he managed to get the CES flu.
The crud.
Yeah,
The
I'm so
CES
sorry.
Crud.
So
Yeah,
sorry.
I try very hard. You know, I do my Purell, and I shake people's hands with my right hand and eat finger food with my left hand, and ne'er the twain shall meet. But somebody breathed on me wrong,
Yeah.
and I got it.
Well, the air is so dry there, too. In fact, Dr. Mom, my personal physician in the chat room, said part of the problem is it's so dry that your mucous membranes, if you'll forgive the expression, dry out and make you more vulnerable to colds. And that's what you've got, obviously.
That's obviously what I got,
Yeah.
and it was very dry. Man, every time you touched anything metal, there was a
Yeah. It's so dry there. And then, of course, there's people smoking, which, you know, I'm in California. Nobody smokes in California. It's actually illegal. So it's unusual for me to be walking anywhere where there's a lot of cigarette smoke, and there was a lot of cigarettes. That's Vegas for you, baby.
not within the convention center.
No, but
certainly
everywhere else.
outside.
The minute you go out the
everywhere
door
else.
of the convention center, there's 800 people
Everybody's
smoking.
standing around smoking. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I'm amazed I didn't get sick. I'm sorry you did. I hope you recover soon. However,
Yeah.
the job goes on because now you're back and you have to tell us what you saw. So
Well,
first of all, the first thing I noticed was the absence of something. The absence of 3D.
Well, you know, a lot of people said that.
I
And-
declare victory.
Nope, sorry. I have to disagree.
Oh.
No one was talking about 3D. You're correct. Except LG. Did you see the big LG video wall?
Well, they spent a lot of money on it a couple of years ago, and they had to bring it back.
Right. And so they passed out 3D glasses, and everybody was walking around the booth looking dorky.
Yeah.
But nobody else was talking about it.
They were the
That
only
did-
ones.
That didn't mean it wasn't there.
Oh, it's there. They've built it in. They can't unbuild it, but that doesn't mean that they think it's of value. They didn't even say things like, and you get 3D.
No, it's true. It's true. But it was there. And not only that, there were at least 2 different auto stereo or glasses-free 3D displays on demonstration that looked really good, I thought. One was by Vizio. They weren't on the main show floor. They were over at the Wynn Hotel. And they're using the Dolby Auto Stereo 3D, and it looked great.
Now, my question on all of this stuff is, can you move around, or do you have to fix your head in one position?
No. With the Dolby and with the Stream TV networks, so their system's called Ultra HD, you can move around.
How does it work? It's not lenticular then.
No, it's not. The Stream, I don't know how the Dolby one works. I haven't gotten a technical briefing on that one yet. They developed it with Philips, who's been working on this for at least 10 years. The Stream TV networks, Ultra D they call it, is a combination of diffraction and refractive films on the surface of the screen with sophisticated electronics that do sub-pixel processing and create something that's basically, it's a bunch of tiny little wave fronts that combine to form a larger wave front. This is very similar to something in audio called wave field synthesis, which is probably too complicated to get into right now. But the point is, it actually works pretty well. And in fact, on the podcast, the Home Theater Geeks podcast, which we shot and recorded at CES, and it'll be posted on Monday at its normal time, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on live.twit.tv and twit.tv/HDG, you will see an interview with the Stream TV Networks guy, including a little clip of producer Chad Johnson going up to a 3D camera and seeing the live image on the screen right next to him. Now, you won't see the 3D because the camera only had one lens, but it was working in real time. It was actually pretty impressive. So 3D is not dead, in my opinion. It just simply isn't being talked about as much. Certainly, it's not dead in the theater. We're still seeing plenty of 3D movies in the commercial theater.
You just don't give up, do you? I admit that if you didn't have to wear glasses, maybe it would. I mean, I think that's people don't want to wear glasses at home.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
so, and it's ads.
But of course, the big story, TV story at CES was 4K.
Yeah, which I've been promoting for a decade.
Right.
Ever since I saw my first 4K display, I said, "This is it. This is the future."
And here it was in force. It was everywhere. Now, I want to make the distinction between 4K in the commercial cinema, which has and that refers to the pixel resolution. So it's 4,096 across by 2160 pixels up and down. That's commercial 4K. Consumer 4K, and virtually every 4K display that they called 4K at CES is actually 3840 across by 2160 down, or exactly twice the horizontal resolution and exactly twice the vertical resolution of what we now call HD.
Right.
So it's exactly 4 times the number of pixels. It's an 8.8 megapixel image.
Beautiful.
On the screen.
Beautiful.
And it is beautiful.
The UHD descriptor actually includes 8K, and there was at least one 8K panel there.
Sharp was showing an 8K panel,
gorgeous.
which is gorgeous, and it had content shot by NHK, the Japanese broadcasting network.
It made me seasick. Seriously, it was
does look like you're looking out a window.
It was so realistic, and it had a train locomotive, and it was so realistic. I really kind of got motion sick looking at it.
Yeah.
Which is not to say you would. I mean, it just really is dramatically realistic. Yeah. And I think 3-dimensional because of it. You really feel like it's dimensional.
Yep. That's absolutely true. And even 4K, when you're looking at native 4K or UHD content, it looks just stunning, especially on the biggest screens that were there. 4 companies had 110-inch screens. Yeah. Which were huge. That's almost 6 feet wide.
Yeah. But how much?
No one was saying except Westinghouse. Westinghouse said their 110-inch screen on custom order would be on the order of $300,000.
Even I did not think it was that high.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, I will tell you this. Westinghouse also has smaller sizes. They have a 65-inch, a 55-inch, and a 50-inch. The 65-inch is going to be $4,000. The 55 is going to be $3,000, and the 50-inch is going to be $2,500.
I was looking at LG's Ultra HD. Yeah. And I asked the lady how much. I think it was the 55 or maybe it was the 60. She said $17,000. This stuff is still not cheap. And they are selling it now, though. Sony has one for $25,000, including a player.
That's right. That includes a player.
Now, I talked to folks from both Roku and Sharp, and I said, well, but what about content? Both of them were convinced the content would come quickly.
And we saw several demonstrations of that at the show, which I was very heartened by.
Yes.
LG in their booth was showing terrestrial broadcast of 4K by the Korean Broadcasting System, or KBS.
Yeah.
They had a transmitter in a
little
room.
KBS antenna. It was kind of cool.
And they had actually 2 antennas.
Yeah.
It requires 2 antennas, a decoder, and 2 HDMI cables going to the TV.
But it looked great. Hang on, Scott. I want to talk more about what you saw at CES, and I also want to talk about OLED. Coming up, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I knew we would run out of time on this one.
Oh, yeah. There's so much to talk about, actually. As you said, if you're interested in TVs, this is a great show to go to. And
Yeah.
that I spend all my time on TVs.
Caffeine-free Dave, I
Folks,
got a
have
flu
you
shot
heard about
yesterday.
ESET's cybersecurity?
Well, it's going to take a couple weeks to take
Yeah,
effect,
it won't
so you still
protect
have to
me.
be a
I knew it
little
was
careful.
too late for CES.
Yeah.
And I guess technically I could have the flu and not know it. Yes, sir. Salad. Salad.
Yes, SDC.
And make it with
I-
a Caesar dressing this time. Thank you.
SDC in the chat room is saying it sounds like I caught the CES grunge, and I did. I'm sorry that my voice isn't as normal, but you know.
Now, what about Samsung? I guess I'll ask you when we come back, but just for my edification,
Sure.
the so-called new shape in TV.
That was nothing.
It looked like it was on an easel.
Yeah. Well, and actually, their Ultra HD 110-inch. Oh, and all their sizes. I think they have an 85 as well. Was in an easel.
Yeah.
And basically, you can move the screen up and down within this easel frame and tilt it.
Yeah.
So that it's at a different.
That was
angle.
it. That's what they were
That's
talking
it.
about.
That's it.
I knew it was something stupid.
No big deal.
I knew
it. Was no big deal.
I knew those jerks were just yanking our chains.
Yeah.
I knew it.
That easel frame also has the sound system in it.
I don't want the easel. It's ugly and it takes up room.
It does. You're exactly correct. You're exactly right. It was not a big thing.
And it wasn't see-through and it wasn't portrait display. It was an easel.
Right. Right.
Stupidest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 points off
agree.
for Samsung.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
I don't forgive people easily. I hold grudges to Samsung. No, but they did have those OLEDs. Oh, my God. In fact, it's interesting because when you go and look at a 4K and it looks so great.
Yep.
And then you go look at OLED 4K. And you
go,
I want
now.
Oh, the blacks are, do you sink into them?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. The only two there, I only saw two 4K OLEDs, and that was Sony and Panasonic.
Yeah.
And they're using some sort of printing technique.
I think when they perfect that, they're going to get the price down very quickly. I think in a couple of years you'll get a. I am holding out. Well, we'll talk about this, but I'm not going to replace that Pioneer, that 720p Pioneer.
Oh, but you're going to want to replace. You're going to be sad to hear the Panasonic news, which is their new flagship.
I know. I saw it.
You saw that? That was amazing. That wasn't 4K. It was just 1080p.
I know. I was thinking maybe I'll buy that.
Man, that ZT60 looked awesome.
So I was going to ask you, because I mean, it all looks good on the show floor. So is it really going to be that much better?
Yes. Well, in the case of the Panasonic, they actually had a blacked out kind of room within a room in their booth, like Pioneer used to do with the Kuro.
Yeah.
And you could go in there, and it was totally blacked out. And they had a VT50 from last year, last year's flagship, and the ZT60, this year's flagship, next to each other, playing the same content.
And you could tell the difference.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it wasn't super dramatic, but it was obvious.
I might have to get it. I love my Panasonic.
Oh yeah.
And it's the one of the few smart TVs that I actually like the smart software.
I like the Panasonic smart software too.
Yeah.
Better than Samsung.
Oh, much better.
When
will that ZT be available?
I think they said something like March. I have to go back and look at my notes. I'd say in the second quarter of the year.
Yeah. Good. I have some time to save my pennies.
Exactly. I don't think they were saying any pricing at that time, too. Web 8819 is asking, how was Jersey Boys? It was great. I went and saw the Jersey Boys show. Man, the guy who plays Frankie Valli,
he's good, isn't he?
Looks just like him.
Sounds just like him.
It's amazing.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. We'll play that for Scott Wilkinson, who saw that when he was in Vegas, the Jersey Boys. Scott Wilkinson,
by the way.
Our home theater expert. He writes for HomeTheaterHiFi.com, hosts our Home Theater Geeks podcast on the Twit Network every Monday. In fact, our Monday Home Theater Geeks will, as he mentioned, feature his CES coverage, including OLEDs. Now, last year we saw OLEDs from two manufacturers who had promised fall shipping, fall 2012. Didn't happen.
Yep.
And I was a little discouraged. I thought, oh, maybe it's going to be like this SED technology, which died on the vine and never came out. Then maybe they can't make them big. But as far as I could tell, every single manufacturer showed OLEDs at CES this year.
Well, I'm not sure everyone did, but there certainly were
all
more.
The biggies, even Sony, which had never shown one, showed one.
Showed, in fact, a 4K or an Ultra HD one.
Oh, baby! So Sharp had it, LG had it, Sony had it, Panasonic had it.
Yep.
So
now the Panasonic and the Sony 4K, they were calling that technology demonstrations.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be for a while. But LG, as of now, is shipping their 55-inch OLED in Korea and other parts of the world. It'll come to the U.S. in March for a mere $12,000. Now that's a lot of money.
2 people asked me what the O stands for in OLED. Everybody understands LED is light emitting diode.
Correct.
What is different about this kind of LED? What is the O?
The O stands for organic.
Oh,
and
it's
green.
green.
Might think no, that's not really what it means. It's you might think it's a clean green thing, but no, it's based on organic chemistry as opposed to inorganic chemistry. You remember your college days, you could have taken an organic chemistry lesson or a course or an inorganic chemistry course.
Right.
And so this is based on organic chemistry.
Which means it's probably silicone is organic, so I would imagine it's something to do with silicone. But anyway.
I don't actually know. It's something I need to write about.
I would think even LEDs are organic, but I'm not gonna get in that conversation. What we do know is it makes a beautiful display.
Gorgeous.
It's fast, right? There's no lag.
Oh, super fast. It's like 1,000 times faster switching speed than LED
and the
LCD.
And the contrast ratio is through the roof. The blacks
essentially infinite.
Yeah.
Yep. The blacks are so black. And even on the show floor, which, as you know, it's got these Klieg lights overhead. Boy, they just look fabulous.
I guess
colors
silicon is not
gorgeous.
Organic. Okay, so this is not silicon. It's something made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, or nitrogen. That makes it organic. Okay.
Correct.
So it's not silicon.
No.
So
anyway, OLED was there in force.
Does that mean this is that they figured it out? They know how to make it?
Yes, it does. I mean, certainly LG. Now, Samsung also introduced OLED last year, and they had it there this year as well. But they were still not saying when it's going to ship or how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
So I think the manufacturing issues are still there. It's still somewhat of a problem. But LG seems to have solved it, at least to the point where they're comfortable selling them. And they're going to sell them in March, as I said, for a whopping $12,000, which is a lot for a 55-inch TV. But it's the first new TV technology to come along in many years.
And man, I will vouch for it. And this, to me, the only reason to go to Consumer Electronics Show now, because everything on the internet, we know all the news, is to actually physically see a variety of television displays. And I am glad I was there because I saw these 4K OLEDs and the HD OLEDs, and they are really gorgeous. Let me ask you though, because they seem hyper real, and I'm wondering, because you calibrated my television set and you muted the saturation a little bit. I'm wondering, are these accurate, or are they just like making our eyeballs bulge?
Well, at the show, on the show floor, I'm sure they are not accurate. They're using the widest possible color gamut or range of colors that they possibly can to attract eyeballs. The same as happens in a retailer. Yeah, exactly. But I asked several people, I said, okay, well, you got this wide color gamut. Is it possible to bring it back down to the color gamut that is used on Blu-ray and broadcast? And they said, yes, absolutely, you can do that. So I can't wait to get one and try that for myself and measure it and see if it's really going to be that accurate color. Now, speaking of color gamut, I will say that 2 companies, Sony and another one that's not coming to mind at the moment.
Panasonic was showing off high gamut displays.
That's it. You're right. Panasonic was the other one.
Yeah.
And they went out. They go beyond the normal color gamut.
Yeah.
They
say they've got a better red now.
Exactly. And I said, well, why do that? When it's not accurate. And they said, well, in both cases, they know what the Hollywood community is shooting. And when you shoot a movie, it's in a wider color gamut that has to be brought down for Blu-ray.
Right.
And they know what the original was supposed to look like. So they're just widening it back out to what was originally shot on for the movie.
It's a subtle difference, but when you look at it side to side, and Panasonic did that, it is, you can tell. It's more realistic. It looks better.
Yeah, yeah, and Sony did the same thing, a side-by-side demonstration. And it does. It looks great. I'm only hoping that their educated guess at where the colors should be when it was originally shot are correct. And you're right. It does look more realistic. The red, when you look at it side by side, the reds look kind of orangey.
Yeah.
Which is true. In a Blu-ray color gamut, the reds are kind of orangey.
Television does that too. Red is very hard to reproduce.
Correct. For example, you can't do Coca-Cola red.
Right.
No TV available today can do true Coca-Cola red.
So that's good.
That's
we'll be able to do,
Panasonic and Sony will be able to do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Panasonic claimed 98% of the digital cinema color gamut, which is much wider, much bigger than the color gamut that Blu-ray uses. They have to compress it down in order to do that. The other big news I thought was 4K content. You mentioned that earlier, and I mentioned that LG had a Korean broadcasting system broadcasting 4K at 60 frames per second progressive.
Broadcast?
Yes, and terrestrial broadcast.
It looked so good.
It looked great. Oh. They're using a new codec called HEVC, High Efficiency Video Coding, which is also known as H.265, the next one beyond 264. And it sends that data at 35 megabits per second, which is 75% more efficient, a savings of 75% over what MPEG-2 would be able to do with the same signal. So that was very impressive. Sony had announced a distribution system whereby you could download 4K to a server and, like I say, overnight, and then play it locally. Netflix was demonstrating 4K streaming.
I thought that was
Samsung booth.
Really interesting.
I thought so too. Blu-ray is talking about possibly coming up with a 4K standard for Blu-ray.
But there's and the folks who do the Red camera have this Red Ray player.
Correct, which uses their own codec.
I think we're going to see this sooner than you think. I do
too.
The demand is there. Once people see how good these TVs look and they get them down to a price that's reasonable, this is unlike 3D. There will be demand for this.
There will. And some of my colleagues are saying that 4K is stupid, especially at smaller screen sizes, because you can't see the difference. Your eye can only resolve so much detail. And if you're looking at 4K on a 50-inch screen at a distance of 10 or 12 feet, which is what most people sit from their TV, you won't see the difference between that and high definition. But 4K does give you a lot more flexibility. You can sit a lot closer to the TV if you want to and still see this beautiful, beautiful resolution. Also, you can split the screen into 4 segments, 4 quadrants, each of which is
high def.
1920 by 1080. Yeah. It's high def. So if the sports fan is going to love that.
And I do believe that even though you can't see the pixels if you're sitting at a normal viewing distance on 4K, that there is something qualitatively better about it, even at normal viewing distances.
I agree. I have seen that many times myself at CES and at NAB. These small monitors that you look at and you go, wow, great. That does look better. Yeah,
they're
exactly right.
More real. And I think that once it's, to me, very similar to that jump that you made from standard definition to high definition, where you went just, wow.
Right. And a lot of people at the show were saying that the jump from high definition to Ultra HD or UHD is going to be easier than the jump from standard def to high def.
Yeah.
Because a lot of movies are already mastered in 4K.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very easy.
And these all come with upscalers that do a decent job, don't they?
Correct. They do. And that was what some people were showing, and some of them do a better job than others, but that is going to be an important factor at the beginning, particularly before we get a lot of 4K content. But I think the 4K content is going to come sooner than even I thought. I thought it was going to take a while.
Scott Wilkinson, he's back from the Consumer Electronics Show. You can find out more at his column, HomeTheaterHiFi.com, and on Home Theater Geeks this Monday, or on the feed, twit.tv/HTG, whenever you feel like it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, I didn't see the 4K tablet, although I hear it was amazing.
Oh, I didn't either. Who had
Panasonic had a 4K tablet.
Oh, wow.
What's pretty obvious is, and this happened in computers, is because of Moore's Law, we're better and better at making, silicon stuff just, doubles. And we're just better and better at making it faster than the content creators can keep up, and then the bandwidth can keep up. But that's just the way it is, and we're there. And the prices are going to drop, and
they're going to drop fast too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Scott, you want to take over for a little bit?
Sure.
All right, have fun.
Okay. So, chat room. I think my voice is going to hang on here for a little while. Let me just go back and see. With OLED, let's see, who is this? Beatmaster. With OLED, can we finally get rid of that cloudy edge LED? Yes, absolutely. That will be gone. OLED is perfectly uniform, edge to edge, top to bottom, every which way to Sunday. And the reason really is that it's a self-emissive display. So you don't need an illumination source. Each pixel is its own illumination source. So there's no uniformity issues. There's no none of that, none of that kind of issue to deal with at all. So yeah, when OLED becomes affordable, that's really going to be something. Really going to be something. Let's see. Web9422 says I should have Ray Maxwell on my show to talk about color. I don't know how Ray is doing. I haven't heard about him in a long time, but that's a good idea. Not TM204. What is the optimal size for HD then? It depends on your seating distance. The screen size and seating distance are intimately related, and I'd have to go back and look up exactly what it is, but it's 1.2 to, your seating distance should be 1.2 to 1.6 times the screen's measurement diagonally. I calculated this out once because in most cases it's referred to as how much the seating distance should be some multiplier times the screen height or the screen width. But TVs are specified in screen size by their diagonal. So I recalculated it out for the diagonal because that's a number that everybody knows. So for 50 inches, it's 1.2 to 1.6 times that. I don't have a calculator handy, but in any event, that's what it is for HD. For Ultra HD, I haven't calculated that out yet, but it's closer. You could sit closer. And Ultra HD finally puts to rest Mom's argument. You're sitting too close. You'll burn your eyes out. Jab says, so how long should I wait to buy a new TV? Well, there is, if you wait, pardon me, if you wait till the next big thing, you'll never buy anything because there's always going to be a next big thing. So, I mean, 4K, if you can afford it, the Westinghouses are going to be pretty inexpensive. The Hisense 4K TVs are going to be pretty inexpensive, except those 110 inchers, which very few people are going to be able to afford. But by the way, TCL, another big Chinese maker, and we're going to hear a lot about TCL and Hisense in the coming years. Two big Chinese manufacturers that while all of the major players, the Panasonics and the Sonys and the Samsungs and the Sharps of the world, are losing money hand over fist, these guys are making money hand over fist. Hisense told me that their company is growing 10% a year. So they got 3,000 R&D engineers. So that is going to be, they're going to be a big, important force coming up. So, how long should you wait? If I were waiting to buy a TV now and I had the money, I'd wait for the Panasonic ZT50, which looked amazing. It's 1080p. At the show, I started referring to high definition as standard definition because we were looking at all this 4K stuff. And, high definition still looks fabulous. And the ZT50 finally brings us back into Pioneer Kuro territory for black level. So that is very, very exciting to me. Dagdog12NH, did I see Terry Fator while I was in Vegas? No, I saw Jersey Boys. I go to one show a year in Vegas when I go to CES. And I went and saw Jersey Boys this year, and it's great. It was great. The music is fabulous, all live performance. Really, really good. Hey, the Sioux, you're here. You're local in Vegas. I'm sorry I didn't see you there. Did you get in? Let's see. Jared555 is asking about the degradation of OLED over time. Well, we don't know. We assume that LG and Samsung and the others have solved the fact that, in particular, the blue color of OLED tends to degrade very quickly, relatively quickly over time. I assume that they've solved that problem. I sure hope they have. Otherwise, it'll be difficult to recommend. On the other hand, when we reviewers get a set, we don't typically run them for all that long to even see if that's going to be a problem. We get them, we take them out of the box. We may run them in for 100 or 200 hours, do the review, pack them up, ship them back. So we don't have them for months or years to see whether that longevity is there. We're going to have to wait and see from the early adopter community, I'm sorry to say. Let's see. Caffeine-free Dave. I know you're our home theater guy, but what about, let's see. What about just straight up 2-channel high-end stereo gear? Did your new place of employment go and do anything high-end stereo? Yes, my new place of employment, Secrets of Home Theater and High Fidelity, had a lot of coverage of the Venetian. All the 2-channel audio stuff was at the Venetian Hotel. I didn't get over there. I was planning to, but I got sick. So I had to curtail some of my activity. So I didn't see any 2-channel audio gear, but I know that there was a lot of it there. And my colleagues at Secrets of Home Theater and High Fidelity were there at hometheaterhifi.com. Oh, and yes, Truckee brings out the point that TCL just bought Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. That's correct. I heard that on the news on driving home. That it's now going to be called the TCL Chinese Theater. It was Grauman's, then it was Mann's, then it was Grauman's again, and now it's TCL. So they are, in fact, a pretty big player. Let's see. Mick says they have a Hisense in the bedroom. Quite pleased with it. Nice picture and easy remote. You're the first person I know to actually own a Hisense TV. Lawn Dog is asking what technology will be practical for receiving 4K content, cable, terrestrial, or Blu-ray discs. Not Blu-ray, at least not for several years. Probably not cable. I'd say terrestrial broadcasting is most likely going to be the most appropriate thing to use, as we saw demonstrated at CES in the LG booth. But I think streaming and more, as Netflix showed in the Samsung booth, or more importantly, downloading, as shown in the Sony booth, well, at least as announced in the Sony booth, is probably going to be more important than terrestrial broadcasting. Shadow XPR, did I use Oculus Rift at CES? I didn't see Oculus Rift. I don't know what it is. iPad 22890, won't you need 4 receivers to do quad PIP? Yes, you would, obviously. Or you could... Anyway, there you go.
Thank you, Scott.
My pleasure, Leo. See you next week.
I hope you feel better. I'm sure you will by next week.
By next week, yeah.
Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. And it's time to talk about computers, the internet, cell phones, home theater, as we just did with Scott Wilkinson, CES. We got a lot of CES news. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the number, 888-827-5536. I was really saddened, and this is about CES, but it's also about tech journalism. I was really saddened to see that CBS, which owns a tech website called CNET, did something that I just find repulsive and very disappointing, and unfortunately that reflects very poorly on technology journalism in general. CNET gives each year the Best of CES Awards. They're the official Best of CES Awards. We used to do it when I worked at Tech TV. It was ours. When Tech TV went out of business, it became the province of CNET, and they've done it for some years. CNET wanted to and nominated Dish Network's Hopper DVR for their Best of CES Awards. It's actually very cool technology. It's Hopper. It's called Hopper because it lets you hop over commercials. Dish is in litigation with CBS and the other television networks because they are upset that it's allowing people to skip commercials. CBS demanded that their subsidiary CNET remove the Dish product from its Best of CES awards. And CNET, having no choice, agreed to. Which means that a product that deserves, and in fact was nominated for a Best of CES, couldn't win because the parent company told the journalists at CNET not to do it. Instead, the Best of Show went to a gaming tablet that no one will ever hear of again. And it's shameful for CBS, just shameful, that they would let the legal department at corporate dictate editorial decisions like that is shameful. I feel terrible for my colleagues at CNET who must indeed be embarrassed by it. And as a technology journalist, it puts us in a very precarious position because people then kind of extrapolate from that, well, it must be going on in other places as well. It is not. I do not let anybody tell me what is good or bad. I make my decisions 100% independently. Were I ever told by, a corporate entity not to do something, you better believe I would not only do it, I'd do it louder. And I just want to reassure you that I am not in any way influenced by anything like that, and would not be, or by advertising dollars or anything like that. And I am brutally honest and independent, and I just feel for not only my colleagues at CNET, who for the most part I know are the same way, but don't have the choice, do they? Just shocking. Just shocking. So, what bugs me is that it kind of impacts all of us in technology journalism because, trade, when you're in a trade press situation, whether you're covering hi-fi equipment, cars, boats, or technology, there's always a little bit of the assumption, you're kind of in the pockets of the business you cover, right? And we work so hard. I work so hard to reassure people I don't own tech stocks. I am beholden to none. If I say I don't like Apple, it's because I don't like Apple. If I say I like Apple, it's because I like Apple. It's not because Microsoft or Apple's given me money under the table. And yet, of course, that perception is now going to get even stronger. Thank you, CBS. You nitwits. So let's go to The Verge instead for their Best of CES. The Verge is owned by SB Nation, which is a blogging platform that made its name in sports. I think they're probably okay. They gave Samsung's 4K easel TV, that one that we were talking about, the TV on an easel, they gave that their Best of Show in TV. I hope it's not for that silly stand, which takes up more room. We've been moving in televisions to thinner displays that take up less room that you can hang on the wall. This thing, it takes over the living room. I don't understand it at all. And why would you want a TV at an angle? However, or for $30,000 for 85 inches. However, for some reason, The Verge did say it's their best TV. The best phone was pretty much the only phone from a major manufacturer at CES, the Sony Xperia Z, which is a high-def 1080p Android phone. Mostly won because there was no competition. The Verge said a Vizio tablet, an Android tablet, the Vizio 10-inch, was the best tablet. Again, competition is not exactly fierce in this space since Apple isn't at CES and pretty much owns the tablet market. You might say Microsoft and its Surface was in second place, and they weren't there either. So that more is a testament to the weakness of CES. And again, cameras weren't big there either. Neither Canon nor Nikon. They were both there, but they didn't introduce any new products. No high-end cameras. So best camera, according to The Verge, was the Fujifilm X100S. Great little kind of retro throwback camera. I have its predecessor, the X100, which I call the Diva camera because it's so hard to use. Yeah, it's pretty. It's cool. Certainly not the best camera out there, just the best camera at CES. Let's put it that way. I do agree with their best PC hybrid. The Lenovo ThinkPad Helix is a great Windows 8 tablet, convertible kind of laptop tablet. Better probably than the Microsoft Surface. And it is running Windows 8, the full Windows 8, not the tablet Windows RT. Not available yet, $14.99. The ThinkPad Helix 11.6-inch 1080p tablet with a very cool kind of convertible thing. You can go to TheVerge.com to see more of their award winners. I think a lot of what you get from this is that CES is no longer the place the premier products debut, period. And many of the products like this, their best watch, the Pebble. Yeah, there was a Best Watch Award. Yeah, I'd give it the Pebble, but the Pebble's not available yet, so nobody's got a chance to try it, so we'll just have to wait and see. And Qualcomm gets the Best Press event, despite the fact that that Samsung had a former president at their keynote. Qualcomm had Big Burn. So I think sometimes the tech press is still in its advanced childhood. I don't think they've grown up. So, yeah. They described the Qualcomm press event, a 20-something actor named Tornado92 trying just a little too hard to look and sound like a teen, an enormous Rolls-Royce, Maroon 5 mysteriously dubbed over by Dido, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Star Trek, a vaguely racist puppet, an upsetting and deeply disturbing scene from Blade 2, Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer running at full speed, arms flailing. Yeah, you know, I didn't see the keynote, but it sounds worth watching. And the biggest disappointment, Kesha performing at the iHeartRadio event. They said she stumbled through a 3-song medley before quickly walking off stage. Well, she probably only got paid a few $100,000. You can't really blame her. Did you miss anything? No, you didn't, did you? Do you feel like, gee, I wish I'd been in Vegas this week? No, you didn't. 150,000 people. I have to think that CES is almost over. It doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Everybody can announce stuff on their own. That's what Microsoft did. Microsoft didn't go. They had an event in October. They didn't need to. Apple didn't go. They had an event in September and October. They didn't need to. So why even go to? If you didn't go, don't feel bad. I went so you didn't have to. At least I survived. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Murray was there. I saw Murray. I didn't know Nikon announced a camera. See, there you go. That's part of the problem too.
We're all trying to save money these days.
Stuff is there's so much that you miss stuff. So I didn't see that. So I want to mention quickly before we go on to the next caller here, my friends at Lantronix. This is a really good solution. If you have an iOS device, you know that iOS has this technique for printing. It's really very convenient, but you have to have a printer designed to work with Apple's technique. What's it called? What does Apple call that? AirPrint, right? Well, most printers are not AirPrint compatible. So maybe you have to get an application. It ends up being kind of a bit of a task. And oftentimes, you never get the printing working. Well, or maybe you have a USB printer. It's not on a network at all, and you'd like to have it be a network printer. This is the solution. This little box right here, the Lantronix XPrint server. I'm such a fan of this. This little box you see here has got a power. It's got Ethernet. It's got USB. Great. Connect a USB printer on there. And by the way, you can daisy chain up to 8 printers. Connect that to your network, and without any additional effort, you're suddenly printing to a USB printer over the network, and you're printing to any printer, network or USB, from your iPad, your iPhone. This is so cool. This is the $99 Home Edition. Now, there are other companies that make products that cost 3 times as much that do this, don't do it as well. That's 8 USB and 2 network printers for the Home Edition. If you're in a big business, we had I got an email from a woman who runs a network for a school district. She was so thrilled with this Lantronix. She said, well, I got everything working. Unlimited network printers, up to 8 USB printers via the Lantronix XPrint server. I want you to test it out. Go to xprintserver.com/twit. And if you enter TWIT, you'll receive free shipping on your order, by the way. So $99 plus free shipping. Best of Show Macworld last year. Editor's Choice from the Mac Observer. Peripheral of the Year from Engadget. That's it. It really works. It's amazing. So simple, yet so effective. The Lantronix XPrint server. If you're trying to print from your iPhone or iPad, this is a great solution. It also makes any USB printer into a network printer. xprintserver.com/twit. Nice company, small company. You know, they approached us, and I said, well, let me try it. And I did. I was like blown away. And they've got great results from you Twit listeners who've tried this. Really been happy with it. And I've been getting such great response from people who have tried it and have been very happy with it. So let me give it my unqualified recommendation.
Gotta get that boom.
Boom! Can we stop saying that? Boom! Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Oh, wow. I was just watching a cut down of that Qualcomm's keynote. Whoa. Oh, wow. Whoa. Well, you know, that's the big keynote. That's the for CES, the Qualcomm keynote was taking the place of the traditional Microsoft kickoff keynote Tuesday night, or rather Monday night, for the beginning of the show on Tuesday. And that's a very special spot. That is the top slot. Obviously, Qualcomm wanted to make a big splash, even though I would defy any normal person to tell me what Qualcomm does. I know what they do, but that's my business. 8888, ask they make chips, by the way, just so you know. 8888, ask Leo. That is the number. Sorry about kind of taking over the show. Let me give you back the show. Pamela in Studio City. Thanks for hanging on. Leo Laporte here, the tech guy.
Well, I was going to ask about computers, but now you got me started on TVs.
You can ask about anything you want, Pamela. You've been very patient. Thank you.
Believe it or not, I've had a Sony since 1977, a 27-inch that was working great until I had a surge last week, and it popped.
Is it a Grand Vega? What is it?
No, it was like one of the Trinitrons.
Trinitron. Wow.
It was like a 27-inch. Who makes that?
But by the way, a 27-inch diagonal on the front is like 27 or more inches in the back, isn't it? That thing is huge.
Yeah, it's got like a round back.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, since 1977, it was great.
Are you ready for a new TV?
I have to now.
Yeah.
So my question is...
I think the gods are smiling on you, Pamela.
Oh, no.
If I were you, I'd be doing a dance for joy.
No, why? It was great.
Okay. Well, wait till you see what your new TV looks like. Then tell me.
Well, no, I have one. I have a smaller new TV.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But this, you know, I'm just saying for what it was.
Hey, I Love Lucy will never look better than on that Trinitron. I can promise
you. I couldn't agree with you more. My question is about I'm conflicting between the LG 46-inch or 47-inch and the Samsung, and
they're both excellent. I would be hard pressed seeing them side by side to tell the difference. They're both excellent.
What is the Wi-Fi option thing? Is that in smart TV? I don't really get that.
Yeah, so the idea nowadays, any TV you buy, they want to be able to connect to the internet because more and more people are getting their stuff from the internet, whether it's Amazon, where you can rent and watch movies, Netflix, where you can stream movies for a monthly fee.
Right, but if I have Roku...
If you have Roku, you have already all the features you want. You don't even care about.
So I can just buy a cheaper TV.
Yes. You don't need a smart TV because you have it. In fact, in my opinion, that's the best way to make a TV smart. And often, even though I have a smart TV, I'll use Roku instead anyway.
Oh, okay. So you answered my question. That's great.
Yeah. If you've got a Roku that has Wi-Fi or Ethernet, you're set.
Yeah, I do. I have two.
Yeah, there you go. You're done.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You know what you're doing. You see, Pamela? That's great.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. I appreciate it. Yeah, I would say, by the way, that the one thing you should consider when you're getting a new TV is the size. And I think somebody who had a 27-inch CRT, for instance, for the last 35 years, a 35-year-old TV, wow, that's cool. is probably going to think, because that was 27 and that was really big in those days, oh, wow, a 42-inch or a 46-inch TV, that's huge. No, it's small. In the HDTV world, it's bigger than you think. Now, there are calculations you can make for how big a TV is depending on how far away you're sitting from it. But normal viewing distance for most TVs, you know, kind of living room, is 10 to 12 feet. And for that, you need at least a 55 or 60-inch TV. I kid you not. And I have a 65 for that kind of viewing distance. If you're in a bedroom and the TV's even more distant, because remember, the farther it gets, the smaller it gets. You know, if you're sitting 6 feet from your 27-inch TV, that TV occupies the same amount of real estate in your view as a 65-inch TV would when you're 20 feet away. So, and it happens very quickly. So if you Google, you know, TV size calculator, you'll find a bunch of them. There are 3 different ways of measuring this. There's what Dolby says. There's what THX says. But truthfully, you want the TV bigger than you think. I guess that's really the bottom line. It's not going to be as big as a movie screen. It's not going to fill your vision. It's not IMAX here. But you probably want to have, you know, if you can, 45 degrees of viewing angle. And that's going to take a bigger TV than you think. It's nice. It's a home theater experience. That's what we're going for nowadays. Uh-oh. Bruce's desktop is being held hostage. Hi, Bruce. Thanks for hanging on.
No problem. Thank you.
What's going on?
Well, I ran either a Google search or a Yahoo search, and I clicked on one of the results. I got the screen that came back that looks official. It says U.S. Department of Justice. Your computer is seized, and you have to pay $300 fine for us to release it. You have 48 hours to do it.
Oh, that's a new one. It's got a big FBI seal on it. Oh, that is, golly, those guys are really ingenious. Obviously, that's not true. You know that.
Oh, I know that. But, you know, I had Not 32 also.
Right.
And I realized I hadn't received anything from them, but it had lapsed for about 25 days. When this happens.
Wait a minute. You mean you can't actually use your computer?
Well, I can log on as a guest, but I can't log on as administrator.
Wow.
When I log on with my regular password, the same screen pops up.
Holy camole. So that's interesting. Did they ask you to pay any money or to go to a website?
Yes, they want me to pay a $300 quote-unquote fine through some website.
Hang on, Bruce. Let's see if we can figure this out. Wow. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. That's horrible. That's a new one on me. I've not heard of this one. So it locked him out of his... he says it's locking him out of his login. See. I know it's a scam for money. That's obvious. It's got to be a rootkit, huh? See if I can find what this looks like. Yeah, that's the question is, I mean, it would have to be a rootkit to keep him from logging in. Thank you. The FBI Money Pack. Is this it? Yeah.
Protect your products here.
Thank you. Yeah, this looks like it. Wow. But I don't know if this is it because He can't log in. Yeah, it's like, yeah, the FBI uses money pack cards. Huh. That's the question. Is he says he can't log in. He can log in as a guest. But he says he can't log in. Yeah, safe mode would prevent it, right? I didn't, Scott Michaud. And Dr. Mom, I saw your question, but right as I was about to go on. So the Kaspersky Recovery CD, that's probably the best thing to do, huh? Well, I'm going to ask him if he can log in as... his profile could be corrupted. Ah. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Johnny Jett, our travel guy, joins us in a bit to tell us what new travel gadgets he saw at CES. But I've got to finish with Bruce because poor Bruce is in trouble. You know, Bruce, obviously, it's not the FBI or the federal government, right?
Of course it's not.
It's bad guys. Are they asking you to pay with money pack coupon?
Yes, they're asking me to go to a retailer nearest me and buy a money pack, prepaid money pack, bring the code.
Sure, that's how the FBI works.
I know.
I mean, it's like, why bother even saying the FBI since obviously it's not? So, yeah, this is not an unusual virus. The only thing that concerned me, you said that you weren't able to log in at all. If you used your login, that's all you would see, and you wouldn't be able to get past that.
Right. If I turn the computer off and log back on as a guest, I get limited access to my computer, but I don't get access to all my files and everything.
I see. So you do get to the desktop, you just can't get to your files.
Correct.
Yeah, this is a category of malware called ransomware, and you can see how it works. Most people just go, oh, it's easier just to pay them. A couple of things you could do. I would try starting in safe mode. Sometimes that'll keep it from happening.
Okay.
Do you have access to another computer?
Yes, I have access to a laptop.
Like a friend's computer or a laptop? So Kaspersky offers a rescue disk for free that you can download, that you boot to this CD, and it will... The easiest way to get rid of this is to do it while it's not running, obviously. But you can also, if you can boot into safe mode, sometimes that's sufficient to remove it. And believe it or not, Microsoft Security Essentials should remove it. You said you have ESET. It should remove it. So there are ways to get rid of this. Of course, I should warn you, once you get infected, there's no guarantee you don't have other stuff on there.
Right.
That might be hiding. So generally, the right thing to do is to wipe the drive and start over. However, we want to get you in there to at least get your data off there before you do that. So what I would suggest is, I'll give you the Kaspersky address. Go on your laptop to support.kaspersky.com. Kaspersky. It's a good Kaspersky is a good Russian antivirus company. /viruses/rescue disk, or just Google Kaspersky rescue disk.
Okay.
And you can download that. And the reason this works is because you're booting to it, and then wiping removing the malware from your hard drive. Then I would back up your data, and I would still reinstall if I were you. Literally wipe the drive clean once you get your data off of it and reinstall, because you just don't know what else is there. Often, once these beasties get on your system, they let others in. Bruce, I'm sorry that happened to you. This is why you want to, and ESET should have protected you. I'm not sure. The problem is ESET can't protect you completely against yourself. And so if you run something that infects your system, it looks like you did this on purpose, and he said it's going to let you do it. Any antivirus will. So it's tricky. It's just tricky. Now, Johnny Jet's on the line. Now, you're not in Florida anymore, Johnny.
I'm not in Florida.
And I'm going to guess where you are.
Are you ready?
You're not telling me much. Oh, you're going to show me out the window?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, let's look what outside the window of Johnny Jet's. It's a city. It's got high rises. It's not Kuala Lumpur. It's I don't know. Where are you? I give up. I don't recognize any of those buildings. Is that
There's a Hollywood sign right behind
there?
me.
Well, that should give you're Los Angeles. I should have known that.
I'm downtown at the JW Marriott LA Live.
How nice.
About to go to a big black tie gala tonight.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
Yeah, with all the Australia tourism.
Oh, I love Australians. You're giving
Me too.
I should mention before we go much farther that you're giving something away.
I am actually. Well, we started a couple weeks ago. We have 2 tickets anywhere in the world
except Australia.
Except Australia, and it's on Qatar Airways, which is one of my favorite airlines.
How do I go to johnnyjet.com to find out more?
Just go to johnnyjet.com. It should be on the homepage, and if it's not, I'll put it on there right when I get off of here.
Yeah, no, I see it. Win 2 tickets anywhere in the world. Of course, I'm not eligible, and there's a great great picture of you.
Actually, no, you're eligible. It's anywhere.
Yeah, well, I better not. And there you and Natalie are, and look at that. Look at those big seats in Qatar Airlines.
Well, this is not business class. That was business class. These seats are coach.
Okay, you won't get that particular seat.
No.
So Johnny, you went to CES?
No, I didn't. You talked me out of it.
Good. I'm glad.
But I was monitoring all the news, and I saw the coolest travel the coolest travel gadget to come out of it. Which I don't know if you saw it, but I would have liked to have checked it out. It's called the Track Dot.
I didn't, so now I need to know. What is it?
All right, well, it's FAA approved. It's a little battery-powered gadget. It costs $50 to buy, and it has a built-in GSM chip. And so what it does, it helps travelers track their lost luggage. So, if you're checking bags, which I highly recommend you don't check a bag, but if you do, you just
I want one of these. I did see these.
Oh, you did? Okay. And you throw it in your bag.
Yes.
And you can register up to 30 phone numbers, which I don't think you need to do. You just need one. And it will let you know when you land if your bag made it or not, or where your bag is. And it costs $13 a year. There's a smartphone app, and there's a one-time $9 activation fee. But if I was checking bags and I traveled a lot, I would definitely look into getting this.
Yeah, as long as your bag can see GPS. That's the only thing. The GPS doesn't work so well indoors, and so a lot of times that bag is lost somewhere in a vault somewhere, right?
But you check bags, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I know you don't.
I 99% of the time I do not check a bag, and it saves you so much time. And I keep trying to stress this on people. You'll save money not only on baggage fees, but you'll save money on local transportation. You can take the train, you can take the subway instead of having to get a taxi or a car service.
Yeah.
So that's the way to do it. But if you do check a bag, check that out.
Sometimes, and this happened to me when we were flying down to Vegas, the overhead bins were full, and they made me check my bag. They said, well, there's nowhere to put it. You got to gate check it. And so
that's another thing you need to do is get on the plane early.
Yeah.
So, no matter what you try, always get on the plane early so you're not the last boarding zone. The last boarding zone, normally you will not get your bag up.
Yeah, on going back, we made sure we were on before everybody else. We put our bag up there.
What did you fly, Virgin America?
I went Virgin America. I went out, and the problem was I was eating a sandwich, and the gate was open. They were letting people in, but I had I don't know, business select. I thought, no problem. I'll just wait, and I got on last. I was one of the last people to get on. Of course, there's nowhere to put my bag.
So I got a quick question for you, by the way.
Yes, Johnny
Jet.
Actually, by the way, JohnnyJet.com. Johnny Jet, that's the man. Johnny Jet. Okay.
Which reminds me, one of your readers said he enjoyed my segment, and he suggested that we take questions from your listeners, and I'm happy to do that. We can do that next time or whenever you like.
What's the email address they could send you questions, and then we'll answer some on the air? How about that?
They can send it right to my email, johnny@johnnyjet.com, JohnnyJet.com.
And here's what we're going to do. We will book an hour with you at some point when you feel it's convenient, and then we'll just take calls for an hour. How about that?
Wow. I better.
Can you handle that?
Yeah, I better get a bottle of water and start drinking. Or a bottle of something.
The Mac and Josh says, would Johnny please explain frequent flyer miles programs?
Well,
I don't know what there is to explain.
That will take an hour, but
yeah, I mean, you should. Whenever I fly, I make sure I join the program, even if I'll never get enough miles to make it worthwhile.
There was actually recently a popular article on LinkedIn by a colleague of mine who wrote, "You should not sign up for freaking flyer programs."
Why?
And I said, you should get him on the phone with me because he's out of his mind.
Is he worried about privacy?
No. Oh, he's just a big scam that you can never use them, which it is difficult to use.
It's true. I agree with him on that. It's harder and harder to use them. JohnnyJet.com. We'll do that next week, Johnny. We're out of time. Okay. JohnnyJet.com, everybody. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. When that music sounds, I got to get out, they make me get out.
I got you.
It's called a network out, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, I had a brand new computer that I was using the Acer Aspire S7
for this new year.
Looks good.
Well, this is not it, actually. Oh. It just froze on me right before we went on.
Oh, great.
And so I scrambled and grabbed my old computer. Luckily, I brought it. And so that's why I'm using this headphone.
Well, it looks good. And we can always, by the way, do it by phone. There's no reason we have to do Skype.
Okay.
Yeah, always do phone.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. And next week I'll be somewhere else.
Yeah, we'll do questions and answers. Maybe people email and you can do 1 or 2 questions. That'll make it easier for you. You don't have to come up with a subject.
No, I have plenty of stuff. Next week, I'm not going to tell you where I'm speaking.
What is Track.'s website? Do you have that there?
Yeah, I do. It is Track. Oh, you know what? This one's I can send it to you.
It's not Track.com. I can tell you that.
No, my Microsoft Outlook just came up encountered a problem, so it needs to close.
You're in Microsoft hell. You should get a Mac.
No, I love Microsoft.
Why is the question? You're now 2 computers down.
It's giving me problems right now.
Tracked. Yeah, no, I saw those. In fact, they looked like they were promoting the idea you put them on your keys too and other stuff.
No, because it's a little bit bigger. It's about the size of your palm.
Oh, okay. There's one then that is the size of literally it's a dot that you maybe it's Bluetooth. I think it's Bluetooth. So that's what I saw. All right.
Okay. Well, I'll email you this so you can put it on your website.
Yeah, I'd like to.
So you have the exact URL. It doesn't. By the way, I forgot to mention it doesn't come out until March.
Oh yeah, that's the other reason I hate CES. If it it may never come out. We're gonna when you get your new Acer working again, let me know. And there's some changes to Skype that we like to make that make it work a little bit better for us. And I want to have an engineer walk through those with you.
And my one question, which you can answer next time, is I can't figure out how to get my Microsoft Outlook mail to work. And I don't think it works in the new Windows 8.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it does. I don't think you can do POP 3. You can't do POP 3.
Oh, that's pathetic. No, I'm sure you can.
I'm trying.
I'll ask our experts.
All right.
All right. Is it Blue Track?
I don't know what Blue Track is.
No, that's the other one. This is the Track. Oh, yeah, it's too big to...
That's it. That's the website. So whatever website you're on, that's it.
Well, it's odd because it's a number. Let me see.
When I checked last week, the website wasn't even up. They said it's not up yet. It's going to be up shortly.
Yeah, it's track.com without a C. Available April. Works with cellular phones. Lets you know when you are 30 feet from your luggage. Can be linked to multiple cellular phones. Runs on AA batteries. This is good. $50. And an $8 activation fee and a $12 annual fee. Cool. Thank you, Johnny.
All right. Well, thank you.
See you later.
All right. Take care.
Safe travels. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it looks like a 3D render, doesn't it? You didn't derail my show. Don't listen to the chat room. The real issue is you can get all these miles and then you can't ever use them because I never give you, there's never anything to book. You just sign up for every time you fly, make sure you sign up for it. And then if you can, I think United Continental is the best. You should just go that one. The whole idea is a loyalty program, right? Yeah, I have a United card. So I put everything on a United card. I get $1 per dollar. I use it. Kyle Benham, our musical director, he puts together playlist of all the songs, the weird music he plays during the show, and puts it online on his Kyle Plus account, his Google Plus account, which is plus Kyle space BENHAM. But you can also get it on our show notes. Our website is techguylabs.com, and it is, I hope, and I think it is, a repository of a ton of free and useful information. Every show is on there. With the notes, everything I mentioned. For instance, Johnny talked about the track dot, which won't be available till April, but we'll put a link to the in the show notes to TRAKDOT.com, and that's the GPS device you put in your luggage to track it. And so you can find out more about that. Anytime, Johnny Jet's address will be there too. Anytime we mention a website, I give you an answer. It's all on the website, techguylabs.com. Also, there's a link to our great chat room. And lots more information about the show, our hero of the month, our news stories, all of that stuff. And after we do the show, it takes maybe a day. We got a YouTube video of the show up on the website, and you can go directly to any question and answer. And I will hope if you have some additional stuff or information or experiences regarding my answer that you'd like to share. Maybe you had that FBI malware attack you, fake FBI malware attack you, and you found a way to get rid of it, or you have some recommendations for Brian. Well, you can put those on the show notes too in the comments. And see, my idea is over time this is going to get more and more valuable. Always free. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to give me your email address or anything. I'm not collecting that information. I just want it to be a great resource for you. techguylabs.com. We make more than enough money thanks to our fabulous sponsors and our radio stations, so I don't have to make money off of you on the website. techguylabs.com. Oh, Russell's our hero of the month. He deserves to be. Russell Tammany, our IT expert. He's the guy who keeps the tech guy running. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the phone number. Back to the phones we go. Alan in Orange County, California. You are our most patient man. Thank you, Alan.
Hi, Leo. I have a Windows 7 64-bit home-built computer.
Okay.
I just installed a new Western Digital 1 terabyte hard drive, and it has an audio card, an M Audio 1010 LT with the latest drivers.
That's a good card.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So now every time I shut it down in Windows, I have to hold the power button because it just will not shut off. It just keeps cranking and cranking and cranking and staring at me.
Yeah. That's a Windows problem. You must be doing audio production if you have that 1010.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, like record production or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's related to that card. What it's related to is some program or driver that's not letting Windows go bye-bye.
Yeah, I found what those are by doing some research with other people that have the same sound card. And what it is, these two services are not shutting down.
Yeah.
They're running. They are called Audio SRV and Audio Endpoint Builder. And if you go into services and I force them to stop running, then it shuts down within seconds.
Oh, excellent. So you know exactly what it is.
Well, unfortunately, that's the way I have to shut it down from now on, unless I go in, and what other people have done is go into, actually they install something called gpedit.msc.
Yeah, that's a Microsoft product that businesses use to customize their PCs. It's a policy editor.
And is that okay to install that?
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as you get it from Microsoft, yes. Don't get it from somebody else. But gpedit is a Microsoft plugin that allows you to configure the computer. If you're a business, there's things you want people to do and not do. Now, you don't want to disable those services. What you'd like to do is have those services shut down more nicely. And of course, M Audio should ship a fix. That's really what should happen.
Maybe I should go to their support side.
I would go to their forums, and I bet you, if this is an M Audio problem, obviously, that others have had the problem. And what you need to do is rattle their cage until M Audio fixes the service.
Yeah. Because I'm just hesitant to do this GP edit.
No, you shouldn't be. Now, you have to have Windows Pro. You can't have Windows 7 Home.
Well, somebody has discovered how to install it in Windows 7 Home.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. You could also, I think you could probably create a script to shut those services down. Like a batch file to stop those services. So it'd basically, you could put an icon in your desktop that shuts down the system by first shutting down those services.
That's exactly what I did.
Oh,
and,
smart man.
Now if I just if I click on it, it'll stop it. But of course, other people use the computer and
right. What will you do with GP Edit? What will you change?
What other folks have done is they took this batch file that we just discussed, and they put it into this by using that editor. They put it in there, so when you shut down, it runs that batch file at the same time.
Got it. That's exactly what you want. You're a smart man. you answered your own question. Yeah, all of that's safe.
I'm smart because I listen to you all the time.
Thank you. Yeah, all of that's safe. What are you doing? Music, records? What are you doing?
Yeah, I do song parodies, and
well, you got to send me some.
I will do that.
I'd love to play them on the air as long as you don't charge me.
I won't charge you for them. No, for you, no charge.
All right. Hey, that's great, Alan. It's nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, too. Thank you.
Yeah, GP Edit is a Microsoft program for businesses, for IT professionals, so they can customize the machine. Do things like, say, the users can't use a floppy drive, or they can't use a USB, thumb drive, things like that. This program can't be run. They can't be chatting, things like that. So it's completely safe to use as long as, and I got to underscore this because of our previous caller, as long as it really is GP Edit from Microsoft. If it's the group policy editor from Microsoft and you get it from Microsoft, fine. But remember that malware authors are sneaky. All bad guys have the same challenge, which is to get you to run a program. Really, that's how the only way to install malware is to get you or to get the machine without your permission to run a program. And so one way to do it would be to pose as gpedit.msc and get you to run it if it were malware. So get it from a reliable source. I want to go to Sydney, Australia. I just got back from Sydney about a month ago. That's where Mac is. Hi, or is it Mac or Mock?
Mark.
Hi, Mock.
Hey, how you going?
Thank you for being so very patient. Are you on Skype?
Yes, I am.
Thank goodness. Otherwise, this would have been a $100 phone call.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, hello. How are you? How is it? What's the weather like in Sydney this morning?
It's a bit overcast. It's summer, so the opposite to you guys.
I know. I know.
It's probably we had a 43-degree day at Celsius a few days ago.
That's over 100 Fahrenheit. That is hot.
Yes, it's stinking hot. It's very unusual for Sydney.
Wow. One of my favorite cities now. I love Sydney. What beautiful harbor, wonderful people, great beaches.
A lot of people think that Australia's there's just koalas and kangaroos here everywhere, but it's not. It's actually there's buildings and
no, it's a beautiful city. Mark, I'm going to make you hold on for a little longer. I hear the music telling me it's time for the top of the hour news. Can you hold on?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. You're a patient man. I really appreciate it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Used up all his time with the travelogue. I'm so sorry. They do have koalas and kangaroos, however. I know because I petted both.
When we built the new Tech Guy Live studios, we wanted to do as much as we could in the cloud. Store documents.
Too many ads, says Raven. Yeah, I know what you mean. This is the one show we do that I do that I don't own, that is a commercial radio program for radio stations across the country. It's owned by Premier Radio Networks. And, you know, this is an AM radio show, which means 19 minutes of commercials an hour. Oh, I got to do my ad. You're right. We only do one commercial per half hour on our network. And in this case, I have for a 3-hour show 2 ads, which is plenty.
We'll begin at
so Dick got the flu, huh?
From Premier Radio.
I feel like I dodged a bullet. I did not get the flu in Vegas, despite the fact that I exposed myself to 150,000 potential germ carriers. I did get the shot on yesterday, though. I washed my hands like a demon.
This is Premier Channel 7. Leo
All the
Laporte,
time.
Tech Guy. We'll begin at 6 minutes.
Yeah.
From Premier Radio Networks.
I was watching the local high frame rate Hobbit.
Yeah?
Showtime,
How was that?
And I saw that it wasn't going to be there Friday, so I went to the last show on Thursday night.
Oh, crap. Here? They had high frame rate at...
Santa Rosa.
Oh, in Santa Rosa, yeah?
At the
So what'd you think?
I loved it. There were 3 scenes specifically that I saw in both the 3D and the 2D. Where
This is
things
Premier
seemed
Channel
blurry,
7.
you know, over the
Right.
war kingdom
Right.
and then
Yeah.
the battle scenes from
Yeah.
Goblin,
Yeah.
the camera was moving really fast.
Right.
Not blurry at all.
Yeah. Crystal clear. Yeah.
There was nothing that bothered me about it. I loved it.
Yeah. Good.
All good.
No, I missed it, though.
Yeah. I'm
Shoot.
glad that I made myself get
Shoot.
out and go up there and see
I know. I wish I'd known. I would have gone. So you've seen it 3 times now?
Leo Laporte, Tech Guy.
It's a good movie. It's better than I thought it would be.
it. I was like watching stuff in the background.
Lisa made me go to a chick flick last night. Gangster Squad. No, it's a chick flick if you're Lisa. My chick likes things like that. She's a great chick. I know, it's my joke. She doesn't. I wanted to see the Silver Lining Playbook, which is a romantic comedy, which is a chick flick, and she said, "No, we're going to see Gangster Squad." I say, "Yes, dear." Yes, dear. It was good. It was fun. Yeah, not great, but good. Very good. Great cast.
I haven't heard you answer this one on the air in a while, and this is such a classic that I don't know if you want to spend some time.
Oh boy. Yeah, I should. Yeah, thank you. That's a good one.
This is Premier Channel 7.
When did we launch the HD FlowSoft stream for Twit? Did we? Are we in?
Oh, it looks so good.
Are we in HD?
Watch on Roku now. It's the Elemental.
Oh, it's the Elemental.
It makes it so good.
Thank you. If you bought a T-shirt, you paid for that.
Yeah, and it compared to
Yeah.
what we were putting out on Roku.
Yeah. Good. Oh, I'll have to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Oh, I'll watch it tonight. Yeah, I got the GoPro Hero 3 Black, which can do 4K. You're right, at 15 frames. I haven't shot a frame, however. One of these days, I got all the giz. I got 2 GoPros now. It's one silver, one black. I was thinking of doing a 2-camera shoot, but I don't think I'll ever use the 4K. It does do. I would probably do 1080p 60 frames though. That sounds pretty good. Public information shows that people get the flu shot get more sick than the rest of people. I don't think that's true, but thank you for sharing that. I bet he got that from the Alex Jones website. Yeah.
If you find yourself bored with nothing to do, watch the last half hour.
I will. I will.
Deconstruct that.
Alex Jones, insane. But he's fun. It's certainly entertainment. It's like Michael Savage, very entertaining. My son's so cute. He's 18 years old. And he's a little innocent. And he gave us all books for Christmas, and he gave me Michael Savage's new novel. And he said, "I hear it's really good." I said, "Oh, thank you. That's so nice of you." He's a sweetheart. The which?
The Death Star news.
No.
Oh.
White House replied to the Death Star.
Leo, I sent you an email. Said you got to talk about this on Tech Guy.
I will. Was this?
It's the result of their response to the Death Star.
Right. I saw it was a petition. They decline it, citing budget constraints. Well, hey, Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. It's time to talk about computers, the internet, home theater, cell phones, Death Stars. 8888. Ask Leo. Yes, I said Death Stars. I love it. You know, the White House has this petition system where you can go to whitehouse.gov and sign a petition, and if they get a certain number of responses or signatures, I think it's 28,000, something like that, signatures, The White House says, we agree, we'll respond. Now, I have talked to people who worked for President Obama's digital campaign who say, well, got to tell you, the whole thing is really just to gather email addresses so we can stay in touch with the electorate, if you know what I mean. But regardless, I think it's great because it does force the White House to respond. Recently, there was a petition that the U.S. government should build a Death Star. We the people. Let me see if I can find the petition. But it just basically, it said we feel that it's time to build a Death Star. The petition gained 34,000 signatures. So on Friday, the head of the Office of Management and Budget, the OMB, responded to the request. Paul Shawcross wrote, "This isn't the petition response you're looking for," already showing his great sense of humor. "The administration shares your desire for job creation and a strong national defense, but a Death Star isn't on the horizon. Here are a few reasons. The construction of a Death Star," by the way, for those of you who were saying, what is this Death Star? It's from Star Wars. The Death Star, Darth Vader's Death Star. It can destroy entire planets. You know what I'm talking about, right? The construction of a Death Star has been estimated to cost more than $850, I think that's a quadrillion dollars. 850 followed by 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 zeros. We're working hard to reduce the deficit, not expand it. Secondly, the administration does not support blowing up planets. And third, why would we spend countless taxpayers' dollars on a Death Star with a fundamental flaw that can be exploited by a one-man starship? They always leave that vent open. However, look carefully, and you'll notice something already floating in the sky. It's no moon. It's a space station. Yes, we've already built a giant football field-sized International Space Station in orbit around the Earth with 6 astronauts, American, Russian, and Canadian, living in it right now. A great response to, obviously, a somewhat frivolous petition. And yet, I think, he says, we're living in the future. Enjoy it, or better yet, help build it by pursuing a career in science, technology, engineering, or math-related field. Yeah, right on. And he says, if you do pursue a career in a science, technology, engineering, or math-related field, the Force will be with us. Remember, the Death Star's power to destroy a planet or even a whole star system is insignificant next to the power of the Force. Paul Shawcross, Chief of Science and Space at the White House Office of Management and Budget. That's a good answer. I got to say, that's a good answer. A little too expensive, but we appreciate the spirit. All right, going back to Mark, who is in Sydney, Australia. Maybe the Australian government will build a Death Star, Mark.
Don't know.
Nah, seems unlikely. What can I do for thank you for your extreme patience. What can I do for you today?
Okay, so I spoke to you some time ago now, and I asked you about the metadata, the ID3 tagging with the MP3s, and you sort of suggested that I'd use Music Brain's Picard and Media Monkey or Winamp's Grace Note.
Right, all of which are great ways to improve the tagging in your songs.
Yes, so it's working very, very well.
Which one did you like of the three? Which did you like the best?
I also found out that Windows Media Player also does it as well. But out of all four, they all give similar results.
Yeah, they're going to basically the same databases, CDDB databases, so they should give you roughly the same result.
So I'm starting up a new business, and part of the requirements for licensing, I need to produce information back to the licensing people. Now, what I need to do, I need to rip out some of the metadata from the songs and export it to Excel. Now, I'll just tell you the exact fields I need. There's publisher and composer. Now, in Windows, if you have a look in Windows Explorer or Explorer, which is called these days, using Windows 7 or Windows 8, if you have a look at the directory listing with a whole bunch of MP3s in there, you can select custom columns. You can add custom columns to that view. And the columns that I'm talking about is publisher and composer. And then you can see a whole bunch of information in there that's come from those programs. It's been put in there automatically. So, for example, WEA or Columbia,
right,
for example, all that information has to be given to the licensing people on a quarterly basis. So I can see it in Windows, but I can't actually export it.
Yeah, you're going to have to write a program, in effect, that will scrape this data,
right,
and then compile it. And it wouldn't be too hard. Have you ever done any programming?
Well, no, but I've got some people that I can use.
It's fairly straightforward. There is an MSDN article on using Visual Basic to do it, but Perl would have libraries that could read in these tags. So would Python. So would Ruby. I bet you Microsoft PowerShell, which is Microsoft's current scripting language, very powerful. I would expect it also has a way to read these. So what you do is you use a library function in those languages. PHP could probably do it as well. In fact, I know it can. You use a library function to get to, one by one, open each song's MP3 tags, get it, put it in a database, go to the next one. Be fairly simple to do, not complicated, but it probably needs to be done with a program. Java could do this. So yeah, if you have somebody who can write, and this is not sophisticated programming.
All right, that's what I thought.
It's kind of a fun thing to do, actually. It's just going to walk through the songs one by one and pull out those fields that you need. You could even put them in a spreadsheet if you wanted.
Okay, that's what it needs to be in Excel.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Yeah. So what the program would do is write. It probably wouldn't write an XLS file directly, a spreadsheet file directly. It'd probably write a comment-separated file. It's just a plain text file, and just spit it right out. Kingy is sending me in our chat room to a GitHub repository for a library to do this called TagLib, audio metadata library for reading and editing the metadata of several popular audio formats, including, of course, MP3, Ogg Vorbis, FLAC, MPC, MP4, and ASF files. This library is designed, I don't know what it's designed to work with. I guess it would work with anything that could access the library. So this is fairly simple. Oh, yeah, it has language bindings for C, Perl, Python, Ruby. Yeah, Ruby would be the one I would use, or Perl probably, but that's just my personal preference. So start there, taglib.github.com, then find a friendly programmer and say, how'd you like to make $10? Australian. And seriously, it's a simple thing. You could do it in probably a couple of hours. It's not hard. If you've got the library, that makes it very straightforward. Great to talk to you, Mock. Always a pleasure. Really nice to know we have an audience around the world. Larry in Santa Monica, a little closer to home. Thank you for your patience. You're next, okay? Don't go away, but we're going to take a break and come back. And Larry wants to know if there are any tweaks for Windows. We'll find out in a second. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, this is a good library. Thank you. This looks like the library. Wow. This would be something so easy to do in Perl. Ruby would make it very trivial. Python,
music you put on your computer
trivial.
Over this past year. Now, think about how often
it looks like.
Files up. Oops, you're not alone.
There's even
most people don't back up their computers.
Actually, this is interesting. Look at all the programs projects that use TagLib, including Kindle, Songbird, Sonata. This is cool. This looks like the library. This is why I like programming. It's fun. We have not picked the next item, Becky. We're looking at bobbleheads, but I think they may be too expensive.
And if you run a small business,
we were thinking of a Leo bobblehead. That's probably not going to sell that well either. Find something people really want.
Start your free trial today at Carbonite.com. You don't need a credit card, just my name, Leo. And you get 2 free bonuses.
How do you like your mugs, Bill? Glad to hear they came.
.com. Offer code Leo. I'd love to tell you about Perfection photo scanners from Epson, a brand you know I like and respect. With Epson exclusive Metro CCD technology, these scanners deliver.
Oh, give me a home
Ideal for the home office.
where the buffalo roam. An etched wine glass, huh?
Transparency unit.
Yeah, Lizard 77 bouncy bobble would be fun.
For sharp, vivid reproduction and high-resolution scanning. You can even revive those old.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry it took so long to get those to you. I apologize.
Appearance of tears and creases from damaged photos with Epson's.
I think the mugs are coming back next week.
There's no need for the slow warm-up time with Epson's exclusive fast ready scan technology. Yep, that means faster scans.
$22 isn't bad.
Epson photo scanners also come equipped with powerful, easy-to-use software to edit.
Oh, Dr. Mom, is it already coming out?
SharePoint, or even scan oversized media like maps and artwork. Visit Epson.com to learn more. Epson, built to perform. And Epson has a special offer for Leo listeners. Go to the Epson.com website and order.
Yay, Becky, good.
Enter in the promo code Leo to get 10%.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I don't think he can make. We're talking about Philip Broughton's Funranium Labs, his Black Blood of the Earth cold brewed coffee. I don't think he can make those fast enough. Hello, Germany. Oh, this is going to make me cry. This is Aaron Swartz, the young man who took his life yesterday. Play a little bit of this.
So for me, it all started with a phone call. It was September, not last year, but the year before that, September 2010. And I got a phone call from my friend Peter. Aaron, he said, there's an amazing bill that you have to take a look at. What is it, I said. It's called COICA, the Combating Online Infringement and Counterfeiting Act. Oh, Peter, I said, I don't care about copyright law. Maybe you're right, maybe Hollywood is right, but either way, what's the big deal? I'm not going to waste my life fighting over a little issue like copyright. Healthcare, financial reform, those are the issues that I work on, not something obscure like copyright law. I could hear Peter grumbling in the background. Look, I don't have time to argue with you, he said, but it doesn't matter for right now because this isn't a bill about copyright. It's not? No, he said, it's a bill about the freedom to connect. Now I was listening. Peter explained what you've all probably long since learned, that this bill would let the government devise a list of websites that Americans weren't allowed to visit. On the next day, I came up with lots of ways to try to explain this to people. I said it was a great firewall of
Alex Ohanian is going to be our
I
guest
said it was
on Triangulation on Wednesday, and I imagine, if he can, and maybe he'll cancel because of this, but if I imagine we'll talk about Aaron.
Coffee. Code Monkey go to job. Code Monkey have boring meeting with boring manager Rob. Rob say Code Monkey very diligent, but his output stink. His code not functional or elegant. What do Code Monkey think? Code Monkey think maybe manager wanna write goddamn login page himself.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. The great Jonathan Colton and his tribute to those who code. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the number. We were talking to Steve in, Larry in Santa Monica, California. Hi, Larry.
Hi.
Welcome.
I've been hacked.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Can I give you the backstory?
Yes.
I had, what do they call I had one pass thing with that. What's that Greek virus? What is it? The Greek thing?
I don't know.
Anyway, right now I can't access. Believe it or not, I got a hold of Yahoo Live. They tell me that's almost impossible, and they told me that somebody's taken control. I can't access my stuff, my email on Yahoo. Luckily, I have that ancient. By the way, I have a DSL Extreme. I think you're right. They're good.
Good. Thank you,
They're good. I was beginning. My neighbor told me to check them out. They're a little weird on billing, but they're good.
Good.
But what I need to do is I can't access I'm trying to tell everybody about because I work in the film business, whatever.
Is this Tom Brokaw?
Do I sound like Tom Brokaw?
You do. The chat room has decided it's Tom Brokaw.
Well, I'm thinking. They tell me I'm thinking about. I've done some radio, by the way. I'm thinking about doing voiceovers. And
I like it.
anyway.
I think you could do it.
Thank you. Anyway, I'm using CompuServe right now, but I can't access any email through.
Did you say CompuServe?
Yeah, remember that? I used to have CompuServe where I couldn't be doing this with you right now.
They're still around? CompuServe is still around?
They're still here. I remember in fact, when I first got it, you couldn't even do it when you're on the computer. They gave me some $4.95 a month. They're still around.
CompuServe. Wow.
I'm from that generation.
I had CompuServe 75106, 3135. I still remember my number, but I didn't know they were still in business.
Yeah, they're my backup right now, okay? Without them,
backup internet service provider.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
So what do you suggest someone Yahoo told me, someone told me, is it really Yahoo? By the way, I learned a lot from that guy with the FBI. It makes me paranoid.
Yeah.
People out there.
Yahoo, CompuServe is owned by AOL. It's not Yahoo, it's AOL.
No, but the problem I'm having is Yahoo. That's what my primary email is, okay?
So let me back you up. Slow down here, Larry, a little bit.
Okay.
How do you know you were hacked? What is the symptom?
Well, Yahoo said it. It must be true.
How do you know Yahoo said it?
I got a hold of Yahoo. I guess it was Yahoo through their number. Of course, they wanted me. Now,
what was the symptom that made you call them in the first place?
I can't access any of my Yahoo email at all, and I get this weird box saying, "Call this number and call this phone number and give us your first cousin's."
Yeah. So your password stopped working.
Yeah. Well, I can't access any email from Yahoo, and I have tons of email.
Yeah. I understand. So your password no longer works. That is often a symptom that somebody got into your Yahoo account and changed the password.
Well, I had to change my password. I had that.
Can you get into it now?
No, I can't get into anything. I can't get my email now.
And when you called Yahoo, what did they tell you?
Well, they told me that, last time I got a hold of them, they said, you got to do it right away, and I don't like that when people tell me, so I paid $80-some, and they took care of it. But it's happened again. They want me to pay $169 to get it all cleaned up.
I don't think you're talking to Yahoo. I got bad news for you. I'm glad you got through, but I don't think that's Yahoo.
Yeah, I think I'm suspicious.
Don't give them any more information, and certainly don't give them any more money. You might want to consider changing that credit card, too. That's not Yahoo. Unless they're doing something I never heard of. I think you got scammed.
Yeah. Oh, it was the Trojan horse. That was the original.
It's Yahoo, not Yahoo.
Yeah.
So
I already contacted the Better Business Bureau.
That's not going to do it. You know, hackers aren't really members of the Better Business Bureau.
I know.
In fact, I don't think they're even in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh boy, I don't know where to begin here. So your machine probably is not hacked, although I don't know, but I'm going to guess your machine's not hacked. But it happens all the time. People get their Yahoo account compromised.
Okay.
I understand you want to get your Yahoo account back.
Yeah, I just want to be able to get mine.
When you go to Yahoo and you try to log in, and have you tried clicking the "Forgot My Password" link? You know, when you log into Yahoo, they ask you for your password. There's actually a link that says, "I can't access my account." When you click that, they'll give you some choices. Do this all online. Don't call anybody. There's nobody there.
Okay.
That's somebody else.
That's probably a hacker.
It's a hacker, and the hacker got some stuff of yours at this point. Let's see. If you think you entered your Yahoo password at phishing site, profiles.yahoo.com, I'm going to put a link in our show notes at techguylabs.com to a Yahoo Security Center article. Help! I think I've been phished. They do say if your password no longer works, tell us so we can start the recovery process. And that's where, what problem are you having with your Yahoo account? And you can either choose, I have a problem with my password, or more likely, my account may have been compromised is one of the choices. Choose that. They'll ask for your Yahoo ID, and they'll walk you through a thing. At no point will they ask you for money.
Okay.
Do this all online.
All online.
And you will if you're lucky, you'll be able to recover it. That means, though, that in order to do that, you'll have to remember your secret questions, or perhaps you'll need to, one of the things you want to do absolutely with these systems, Yahoo Mail, Google Mail, Hotmail, is associate a cell phone number with it so that they could text you a new password. That's the best way to do it. Gmail does this, and if you have a Google account, please, by all means, set it up so that they know your cell phone number, because if somebody gets your account and changes your password, what you need to do is you need to rechange the password quickly, and you need to do it without obviously using your original password, because that's been compromised. So having a text message account, a cell phone account on file with these guys is great, because you just say, well, text me a new password, and they will. The problem with secret questions is they're often deducible. And I think this is the #1 way people's Yahoo accounts get compromised. It certainly has happened to many Hollywood celebrities. Paris Hilton used as one of her secret questions the name of her dog. Only problem with that is anybody who's ever seen her on TV knows the name of her dog. So I always lie with the secret questions. The hackers probably know or figured out what your secret questions were. It's interesting because you can use a good password, a random letter, number, punctuation mark string that's 10 or more characters. I mean, really an unguessable password. And still get hacked by these back doors, these secret questions, things like that. So, Larry, I'm not sure what to do, but I don't give them money. That would be bad. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yes, sir.
They're going to brief that caller and find out what kind of phone he
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to fix his problem.
No, I'm talking about the Echo.
That's not the only one. We've had 3 calls with echoes.
Yeah, so they're finding out.
Yeah, the older lady had bad echo. So yeah, we're still getting echo. It's exactly the same. We thought we fixed it. Is Joe in L.A.? No. Yeah. I'm just giving up. I just give up. We'll live with the echo. What are we gonna? It's been there for ages, right? Yeah, I save my secret answer in a encrypted file. That's what I do. I answer nonsense answers, and I put them somewhere else with a password-protected encryption. Yeah, it's not as bad. What happens is when I'm on a phone call, when I'm talking, you hear a slight echo on my voice. We thought we'd fixed it. We did some tweaks that we thought made it better, but didn't. Yeah, LastPass Secure Notes is a very good choice for that. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. The GizWiz, Dick DeBartolo, joins us in about 15 minutes at 47 after the hour to give us his picks from the Consumer Electronics Show. Meanwhile, we'll soldier on. Steve in Westminster, California. You're next. Hi, Steve.
Hi. Hey, Leo. I really enjoy your show.
Thanks for hanging on. You've been very patient. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm due to my frustration with Windows 8.
Are you really? Now, tell me about that. Did you buy a new computer with Windows 8?
Yes, I bought a satellite S855.
Toshiba?
Yes.
It's not a touch screen, though.
No.
See, I have to say my strong recommendation is that if you're going to get – it's too late for you. But for anybody listening, if you're going to get a Windows 8 computer, get one with a touch screen. I really think Windows 8 is much better with touch. And that's part of – I understand you're frustrated, and that's part of the frustration.
Yeah, for the price, I couldn't beat the
Oh, yeah.
deal. But you said that there's tweaks for making Windows 8 kind of act like Windows 7.
Yes.
And I noticed on your website you're featuring Retro UI. Is that the only thing?
It is not the only one, although it's free, and it's one that a lot of folks recommend. But there are actually quite a few of these. In fact, I'll tell you what we will do. I will make that my tip of the week on the website this week, and we'll put in a bunch of these choices. ClassicShell.net is another one. ClassicShell.net. Shell.net. We've talked about that one before. That's the one that has the Shell Oil logo on it.
Oh no!
But that's a great one, and I think that's also free. It's donationware, and it's gonna give you a start menu. Is that the number one thing you miss?
The start menu, and I find that when I'm in the application going through the tablet interface, there's nothing to terminate the programs with.
Well, get used to that. I agree.
I mean, I have to go into Task Manager. And
I know.
Kill the program.
Yeah. Well, the idea is, I know. The problem is we're conditioned from previous use about the way a computer works, and one of the things we're conditioned to do is to shut down when we're done. You can shut down programs, but the whole idea is that you don't have to. It will handle that automatically. So you don't actually need to when a program has not been used for a while. Windows 8 will just kind of shut it down. You can swipe to the left, and I think somebody in the chat room says Control F4 still works.
Okay.
But you don't. You don't need to shut things down.
Well, I get a little window that pops up and says you might find that your computer will operate a little bit better if you shut down some apps.
Oh no!
No, I've got an i7 with 8 gig of RAM on it. I shouldn't have any problems.
Oh, I wonder if that's a Toshiba thing.
Could be.
So Metro apps, you move to the left, pull the app off the screen. Control F4 works on desktop apps. And sometimes you can pull from the center and click at the center and pull down, and this is so non-intuitive, isn't it?
No, it's not very intuitive.
It's not intuitive. I agree with you, and what baffles me is why?
Well, I would think that Bill Gates and his crew would at least put in a means of disabling the layer.
No. In fact, a lot of people said, "Why don't you do that? Why can't we?" And it was pretty clear that Microsoft wanted to go all in on this new user interface, and they didn't want to hedge their bets. They didn't want to give people a chance to go backwards. They wanted to push us forward, where what they believe was forward. And
they've also got their tablet on the market too, so they've got to be able to.
Well, they believe that tablets are the future. Yeah, I know.
I'm not married to my computer.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty much telling people stick with Windows 7 at this point.
Wow. Oh, I may have to contact Toshiba for that then.
Yeah, they may for a fee sell you a Windows 7 disk for that thing. It is easier if you're going to go to Windows 8, get a touch screen. The people who like Windows 8 almost universally are using touch because a lot of what you want to do is swiping in from the left, the side, or the top.
Right.
And you can do it with a mouse, but it's just not intuitive. It's probably not intuitive. It's not discoverable, I guess is a better word. It's hard to figure that out.
Well, maybe if I read the manual.
Well, what? There's 3 pages. What manual? You could get my friend Paul Thurrott's book on Windows 8, Windows 8 Secrets. That'd help. But you shouldn't have to buy a book to know how to use the Windows operating system. Then this is the deal: is Microsoft decided that they had to change when no one was demanding change. But I think that they felt if they didn't, they would be perceived as a fuddy-duddies.
Well, they're trying to lead the leading edge.
Well, they're trying to keep up with Apple. And that, you see, the problem is they're very afraid that Apple's iPad is going to kill them. Oh. And so they've decided that touch is the future, that we're in a post-PC world, and that even the PC needs to have elements of tablet. And, while Apple did the same thing with OS X in Lion and now in Mountain Lion, full-screen apps and all that, Apple even didn't go as far as Microsoft went.
What I find ironic is I opened up an iBook to see if I could do some repair work on it, and here screaming at me off the system board is a big chip that says IBM on it.
Oh yeah, of course, and Samsung too. Apple's arch rival makes most of the chips for Apple iOS devices. Basically, if you buy a Mac, you're buying pretty much the same hardware as run Windows. In fact, Windows runs great on Macintoshes because it's the same stuff. It's all the same. It's Intel chips. It's all the same.
I understand the Mac OS kind of runs even better on a Intel platform.
It runs all right. I would say it probably runs best on Apple hardware because it's got all the drivers for it. It's a little riskier because you're not guaranteed drivers. Only Apple makes Apple drivers. So I would say Windows 7 unless you know you need touch or you're one of those folks who loves to live in the future. I just really think, but if you're a longtime Windows user, you're going to be discombobulated by Windows 8. It's just not the same, and it's change. It feels like change for change's sake. It really does. It's like why do you do this to us? Microsoft wants to be hip, wants to hang out with the hip kids. Doesn't want to be the nerd anymore with the taped up glasses and the pocket protector. It wants to be an artiste. Art in Scottsdale, Arizona. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Leo, how you doing? I've been listening to you since Call for Help, and you're not going to believe this, but I'm watching you in my computer room on a 27-inch Sony Trinitron through Roku.
27-inch? This is Trinitron Day on the show. That's great.
Question I have for you. I've never had a Blu-ray before, and I'm concerned a model that I kind of get your opinion of and see what you think.
Yeah.
It's a Panasonic. It's a DMP BDT220.
I don't know the Panasonics, but I'm sure it's fine because, in fact, at this point, all the Blu-ray players are pretty much the same.
Okay.
CNET has a review of it. One of the nice things about it is that it's got Wi-Fi, which makes it very easy. You don't have to find it. Nowadays, the Blu-ray players, you want to connect them to the internet because the discs want to be updated.
Well, I just went out and got two. I got a 60 and a 70-inch Sharp Aquas, and I really noticed the loss of resolution when I'm playing DVDs.
Yeah, you need a Blu-ray for a high-def TV. It's a good price, about $100 for this Panasonic.
Yes, gave it a good rating. It's $100.
And the one thing I really like, and I know this from my Panasonic television, the Viera Connect smart stuff, Netflix, Hulu Plus, Amazon, is very nice. Okay. So I would recommend this absolutely.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too, Art. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Oh, now it's time. Alt F4. Control F4, what does that do? That does something, too. I made a resolution this new year to be more productive, to work smarter, and... Bill, I believe... When you say something about Windows, Bill, I believe you.
Like a contradiction, doesn't it?
Intuitively.
I use GoToMeeting from Citrix, the fast and simple way to meet with clients.
Windows X. Yeah, that's right. Windows X. Truth is, I don't think you're supposed... Well, now, I'm surprised by this thing you should be closing apps. That must be a Microsoft notice. I thought you were just supposed to let stuff run. I don't know. That's right, current tab. Yeah. Oh, I should change to football. Oh, yeah! Denver's up 7-0 already.
Right now, I've got it free for 30 days for you. Plenty of time to get an idea of what GoToMeeting.
Hey, Dickie Doo, are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's Dennis who's sick.
Oh, Dennis got it. And he didn't even go. Did he go?
No, he doesn't.
He got sick by himself.
He got sick on his own.
On his own recognizance.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope he feels better.
He's getting there.
Does he have the flu?
Yes, but he's coming out of it.
It's supposed to be a bad one. This year it's supposed to be really bad. Can you hear me?
Yes, good.
Dick, hello?
Yes, could you not hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but he doesn't seem to be answering what I'm saying. So I'm going to go. You hear me fine. Are you listening? Are you getting an echo or anything?
No, I'm hearing you fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All is well.
How'd it go at Showstoppers?
It was good. We did, let's see, I think we did 15 gadgets in the special.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
More is better.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was great fun.
Good. Good. And you're glad to be back?
Yes.
What's your overall take on CES this year?
You know what? My feeling is if you took all the headphones and all the iPod cases and all the Bluetooth speakers out of the convention center, we could hold the event in my hotel room.
I agree. I've never seen so many headphones. It's like suddenly they figured out, oh, let's see, iPods. Oh, everybody should have headphones.
Yes, and Bluetooth speakers. And the terrible thing is nobody looks at what anybody else is doing, and you roam from booth to booth, and they go,
all the same.
Gizwiz, have I got something for you?
Yeah. They're all the same.
Let me guess. Does it have anything to do with Bluetooth? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I will not be sad if I never had to go to CES ever again.
Yeah. I mean, the TVs were quite amazing, but the prices just as amazing.
Yeah, it's worth going to see the TVs in person because that's the one thing, you don't get from the internet is touching, seeing, feeling, flu. We're trying to think of how we should cover it next year, and I was thinking what I would like to do. I was trying to think of what is it people want to see. I thought if we did...
They just want to have been there in some form.
Well, that's what we used to do, was like we'll be there by proxy.
Yeah, but I mean, watching, I got a lot of emails like it was great seeing you walk the floor.
Yeah, right.
And if they see 15 gadgets they haven't seen before.
I was thinking we do the top 25 products at CES. Just 1 hour-long special. These are what we consider the top 25 products from CES.
And do it after the show?
Do it Thursday. Do it Thursday.
Okay.
Have it out by Thursday.
Right.
I don't know. We're trying to think of how we should do it next year. We're certainly...
Not 32 is your live read, Leo.
Thank you. What the heck is this? It sounds like it's stuck. Kyle, the record, it's scratched. What's going on? It's the Windows Noises song.
Practicing.
These are all Windows noises.
And now they have drowned.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Kyle Benham, our musical director. The record is scratched, Kyle. Scratched. Does anybody even know what I'm talking about when I say that? Probably not. Probably not. I just got a phone with a dial. Literally, I bought from SparkFun one of those old, dial telephones, like the desk phone, and it has. You put a SIM card in it, and it's a cell phone.
Oh, it's great.
And it rings like really loud, and it's got a short cord, so you can't go anywhere with it. Anyway. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I bought it to show my kids how it used to be when you had to dial stuff. Our Dick DeBartolo, our Gizwiz, is here. He's back from CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. Dick, you've got 30 seconds. Tell us everything you saw at CES. Go.
51,000 headsets, 49,000 Bluetooth speakers, 1,574,000 iPod cases.
It really was an accessory show, wasn't it?
It really
is. This is innovation. Headphones. Everybody and their brother was offering headphones. Headphones.
Right. And not only that, they seem to. It's like someone says this year, let's all make a Bluetooth speaker that looks like a thermos. Because 5 different people, hey, have you seen our new bike Bluetooth speaker?
It's the end of the world as we know it.
It is. There's not a tremendous amount
my phone.
of...
Wait a minute, hold on.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that is. Is that you?
No. And then there are some bizarre things. Fortunately, there was not a lot of 3D at the show.
Yes, that was a relief.
Right. But there were more bizarre things like, I don't know if you saw, I think Toshiba had one, or Samsung, and Konka, Konka, had one, using the 3D technology so that, I don't know why you do this, 2 people can sit on the couch and watch 2 totally different movies on the same screen. So
why would
have
you
to,
do that?
No, exactly. And I said to the guy, and hopefully they can text to one another so that because they'll be wearing headsets to keep the movies separate.
That's crazy.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, the 4K TVs are amazing. The prices are amazing. The OLED screens are knockout amazing.
Aren't they gorgeous? But when you say the prices are amazing, you don't mean amazingly low.
No, like, what is this? 20,000. This is 25,000.
Did you see what the price? Scott Wilkinson was telling us the price for the 110-inch Westinghouse Ultra HD.
I met Lois Whitman in the elevator, and she said 300,000, and I said no, Lois, 30,000. She said no, Dick, 300,000.
300,000.
Yeah. So I didn't get it. I probably am gonna regret it.
I know. I thought about it. Not to mention the cost of removing the roof of your house so you can get the thing in. 110 inches is too big to go through a door.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No.
Crazy.
It's just crazy.
So, Dick, did you bring back anything?
I did run over and look at the Pebble Watch for you.
Oh, good. Thank you.
The Pebble Watch is really fun.
I contributed. It's a Kickstarter project, which I contributed to, so I should get
one. Well, then you'll be getting yours shortly, right?
Soon,
They're going to ship January 23rd.
Yeah.
But they did a lot of whimsical thing. It's the e-ink, and you can get watch faces, Leo. You can have computer time on it. And I was going through the menu, and I said to the guy, what is relaxed time? It was either called relaxed time or easy time. And he said, well, for people who don't want to look down and see that it is 6:32 and 10 seconds, you'll look down and it'll say 6:05 or about 8 o'clock.
Quarter after. It's quarter after.
A quarter after.
Yeah.
Almost 8 o'clock.
5-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a computer program that does that. I like that. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's not an invention.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there were a couple things there that there was one thing at the Sands Convention Center was amazing, and I don't know how they're going to sell this or why. It's a mist curtain, okay? So it's a curtain shooting up out of a platform about 30 inches wide, and it's projecting an image on it, but the mist is touch screen. So and it's
Wait a minute,
30,000.
but is it made out of mist?
It's made out of mist.
And you could touch the mist?
You can touch the mist, and you can control the computer. And I said to the guy, this is an amazing technology. What does it cost? And he said, 30,000. And I said, exactly, why did you design this?
There's nothing there worth seeing, folks. You could stay home with impunity. How long before this show just sinks under the weight of its own?
Well,
headphones?
Leo, a long time, because 150,000 people went there.
I don't understand it.
So I don't think they're going to just stop going. No, this is the way, and I'm going to talk about this at length on an upcoming GizWiz. The beam is the way to do it. The beam, think of an iPad, a big iPad on a Segway that you control from your office.
I just bought one.
You bought a beam?
It's not a beam. I got one that's better than the beam. The beam was big and bulky. I didn't like the beam. There's one that's even smaller. And the iPad goes up and down, and you can drive it around. It's called telepresence. There's a lot of companies doing this now. And this is how I'm going to do the show from now on. So if you see a stick with a head on it next time, that's me. I'm at home.
Wow. I'm going to say, God, Leo really lost too much weight.
This is cool, I admit. It's pretty cool.
And how much is that?
The one I bought was $2,000.
Okay. Was it at the Hilton?
No, I saw it online.
Oh, okay, because there was a
How much is the
version.
beam?
Oh, the beam is $16,000.
Yeah, no, I like this.
But
I like
the object is to rent them.
Right. No, and the problem is if you actually send it to CES, somebody would steal the iPad off of it. So
Probably.
Yeah.
But then you have to send another beam as a cop.
Cop beam. Dick DeBartolo is at GizWiz.biz. Another chance to play the What the Heck Is It contest and win yourself an autographed copy of Mad Magazine if you go there. And all of the products that Dick saw at CES are there. And, of course, on our GizWiz show, which is now back to its regular time, Tuesday afternoon on the Twit network. Dick, it's great to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Leo, stay tuned. Dick's going to do the Giz Fizz in just a little bit, right after the radio show, for those of you watching at home. Eric is in Van Nuys, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Eric. Did I push the wrong button? Eric, are you there?
Yes. How are you
Hey.
doing?
Oh, you scared me. Hi, Eric.
Hey, how's it going?
It's great.
I love listening to your program. I wish I could listen to it every day, but I have other things.
You have a life. It's called a life. I don't have a life, so I actually do shows. We now do, on our podcast network, 25 different programs. Oh, no, Eric, we're out of time. Let me put you on hold. I hear the magic music, and we'll get your number. We'll call you back. We'll make you the first caller tomorrow. I apologize. The phone's ringing, Eric. Hey, thanks for joining me. Have a great Geek Week. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, the Tech Guy is just the tip of the iceberg. We do nearly 30 shows now on the Twit Netcast Network, and you'll find them all at twit.tv. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPad on iPad Today. You get your daily dose of tech news from Tech News Today, and our weekly roundtable show, This Week in Tech. It's all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next time with another great Tech Guy podcast. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.